Prox, or even going for the Loki with the Gambit as well. So we will see.
Captain America
even
ban,
though the
Daredevil
ban was the
ban.
same,
Oh, it's
it
the
does
same
look like
bans.
we're having
Okay,
different
same
compositions
bans.
shaking up for both our teams.
No Star-Lord for the side of Heretics here. They were in fact looking for a bit at a Loki. They are going to stick with their triple strategist that they've become so keen on. While Naga was unleashed onto a duelist in yesterday's game, he is once again put back on the strategist jail here as he will be on the Luna, one of the highest damage strategists, which has worked out as they pick
you guys
up
want me to bring the duck
blood,
back?
taking
The duck's
out
over there.
Nevix here as Heretics with double high damage strategists,
right
the Luna and the Adam, means they're going to get a lot of poke here, whereas the Vanguard, Deadpool, and Beetle is going to be playing that Venom to try and put some pressure onto VIRTUSPRO's backline, where they've stuck a little bit more standard here.
I can bring the duck back if you guys want.
Heretics should win this first fight off of cooldowns alone. You've got Symbiotic Shenanigans and Soulbond available for your Jeff and your Adam, so they get the first blood, but that is brought back via BRB from Dridro, who loses the life, but does allow VP to build up their own Banhammer. Does not get the opportunity to use it though, and there we go.
Team
Heretics
taking the first fight away from VIRTUSPRO.
Totally cutting out VIRTUSPRO at the knees,
VIRTUSPRO,
despite the BRB advantage being there for VP, who essentially take
VIRTUSPRO
every
not
fight,
the second best
7
team in
players
EMEA?
in
Don't tell me
comparison
they're
to
gonna
Heretics
lose.
6.
Buster cancels from Alex, showing that they can do a little bit of extra burst damage to help take down the terrain and set up a advantageous position for Heretics as they creep on forward to Nuki.
Yeah,
trying to pressure Fincy, Bridro, anyone who wants to step up and get any scouting done. It is going to be Fincy. Quite a bit of damage. They need to be careful, of course. Environmentals are very possible on this map, as Fi is poking the other side, trying to keep some pressure on, but it's taking a little bit of damage. Forced to back up as Beetle puts a bit of pressure on themselves. Alex has fallen, but Cocoon brings them back. Not so lucky for Naga.
Yeah, and that Cocoon usage being invested now eats into the value that Karmic Revival will be able to bring, right? If Alex goes down for the ult, you lose the opportunity to keep bringing players back. Ascent from Sparker invested to gain height to be able to dodge away from Ken's ult. Heretics have been able to hold on to point off of the HGF, stabilizing their players. Enzo even coming back on the Strange with the portal, so the Heretics can keep fighting. The team fully intact with the Soul Bond into Saipei's ult.
They're trying to hold it with the Cosmic Yard Amplifier coming on out, Ruby Rage, and it's going to be VIRTUSPRO wiping the board of Heretics. Alex was taken down, meaning there's no revive, and the rest of the team is soon to follow. The portal is absolutely counteracted here. Heretics at 71%, VIRTUSPRO on the board, but they still have
three
some
competitive teams instead of one dominating team. They've got the Heaven's Retribution, and they have Swamp Gaming and Team Liquid Citadel.
Where they are lacking, whereas Heretics, they have Revive with the Karmic Revival, and they're just about to have the fate of both worlds here.
Yep, and that should be enough to be able to survive the damage from Fi, who actually goes low enough that he's forced to teleport out. Wants to keep
that's
the
so
ultimate
unfortunate
in play
for Ken,
and put
bro.
the
That's
pressure
so
on the
unfortunate for
backline
Ken.
from Heretics, so that you're not going to be there with your Luna to get the heal. That forces Karmic Revival, and we see Finzi trying to invest the Assassin Spear just to take away Heretics players further from the reaches of the Karmic Revival distance, so that those eliminations actually stick. Alex's ultimate comes through without a hitch though, so Heretics will be able to look to pressure out that point with Beetle's presence.
Team Heretics is looking very strong today, though. Dude, if Team Heretics beats VIRTUSPRO,
that was some good staggering as well by Heretics, meaning that VIRTUSPRO only just now all coming up together.
72% with 4.4 million on VIRTUSPRO. Team Heretics has 28%.
Afterwards, but with Naga having the fate of both worlds, and the next closest behind that being Saipei on 63%, there is a real possibility that Heretics, if they can sustain through the main engage here, can just hold out and turn this round. They're holding on to it. Ken's already up to It's Jeff here. Vinci is desperately looking for something on the backline, but with Heaven's Retribution finding nothing, this is a dangerous position for VIRTUSPRO. They forced the overtime. Fate of both worlds going to be coming out, but that team is basically completely split in two. Enzo returning to the point, needs a strategist to actually come back to the point so they can sustain it before VIRTUSPRO are able to flip this on their head. But down goes Nevix.
Damn, bro, that ultimate ability heals you so much. It gives you so much shield.
As best they can, but the rest of the team is completely zoned out. Vi goes down. It's Jeff on the point, and now it's just ferrying in one by one. It's Jeff literally all the way back to prevent the portal, but it's not even needed.
That guy was mad. Did you guys see that?
VP.
His camera showed that he was mad. He was like, damn it.
Invested Gambit ult.
Or maybe he was happy. I don't know. I think he really wanted to swallow that guy.
They thought that they would be able to turn the tide from
strange.
Raging Roll Flush and stall long enough for Nevix to get the portal for them to come back from spawn onto point. So that now costs them. You do not have Gambit ult to go fast, go first into Heretics when they're lacking a strategist ult to be able to survive it, since Fate of Both Worlds was burned in the OT play.
There's no defensive ultimates available for Heretics at all, whereas VIRTUSPRO will soon have Cosmic Yarn amplifiers. If they can delay the first couple seconds, there's a chance they can make something happen. But Beetle has the better engage tool. Sparker needs someone to really set up for that Ruby range, or they need time to wait for the Yarn amplifier to just try and take people out before they have a chance to react. Whereas Beetle
you also have your links back. If you're Heretics, right? New rounds, so Soul Bond, Symbiotic Shenanigans, all of those return, which is essentially the value of 2 defensive ultimates. And Heretics have one-sided portal to just jump onto VIRTUSPRO. They've got Feast of the Abyss, they have Dance of the Butterflies. They go before Dridro gets the opportunity to build Cosmic Yarn Amplifier.
Sparker gets frozen, Dance of the Butterfly going to be coming on out. Heretics trying to give them no time to hesitate. Sparker is brought back, but
bro, Team Heretics is dominating VIRTUSPRO, man.
0. Heretics gain full control here. They use the portal as a little bit of cover to make sure they can keep everyone else zoned away. And that's going to be some percentage on the board right away for Heretics here. In the meantime, Alex is at 83% towards the revival, so that even if VP commit to this and get a blow-up, as long as Alex lives, they might be able to turn it around.
If Team Heretics wins the series...
Finzi also taken down, stacked up damage, spam from Alex.
I'd be very happy.
Same time. VIRTUSPRO losing
because
the
then,
opportunity.
Like, that means,
amplifier,
like someone said in chat, we have 3 dominating teams in NA. I mean, EMEA.
Cover behind, but we do get the Comic Revival bolt up in time from Alex to bring Enzo back into the fold, and VIRTUSPRO just having to use 2 ultimates to gain just the ability to walk out of the choke, but that's instantly denied as they're not able to get on top of that backline, and the Adam and the Luna deal so much damage.
If VIRTUSPRO misses another lane, chat, I don't think so. I think VIRTUSPRO, if let's just say VIRTUSPRO does lose this, I still think they're going to be like, I still think they're going to make the lower bracket run and win to make it to the lane.
Backline is under pressure as Heretics still hold the point. Tanuki does go down. It's starting to turn in the favor of VP slowly but steadily as Fi is winning the duels. Badhammer comes on out from Enzo though to try and put a stop to this nonsense. Sparker retreating, still holds on to that Ruby range to buy as much time as they can, and VIRTUSPRO were refusing to give up the point. Beetle falls. Fi has managed to trade 2 for 0 so far, just basically by themselves, able to duel on these outskirts on the point, and VIRTUSPRO will get the flip here.
Well, not just yet, actually, because the Heretics are still holding Symbiotic Shenanigans to stabilize Beetle into the Venom Shield, and you're about to get Fate of Both Worlds online. All you have to do from Heretics is hold the Feast of the Abyss, which allows that potential opportunity to hold this point yet more, and they're going to commit to it. Out comes the Luna. VIRTUSPRO going to have to invest something to get this flip, and it's just time. Point percentage is lost. 94% picked up for Heretics, but you're about to come through with Dance of the Butterflies, Comic Revival, and VIRTUSPRO do not get the opportunity to lose one fight. If they do, that's round done.
Naga deciding against going for the full 99 here and sacrificing their life, instead going for the Fate of Both Worlds skedaddle style as they get out of there, rejoin their team to make sure that they can stay on the board and keep them topped up with Venom. Into the backline, Feast of the Abyss to try and take them down early. Ruby Rage takes out 2, and this is exactly what VP need to be doing. Do not let Heretics get momentum back. They have the tools. If you take them down quick enough, they can't use them. So keeping them split, keeping them zoned is a big play for VP.
That was 2 ults.
It was.
From VIRTUSPRO, as opposed to 1 to be able to stagger out these fights. So Heretics, seeing opportunity, keeping Enzo alive, build up Banhammer to make a play. VIRTUSPRO have to respond to the forward aggression with that Raging Roll Flush, but Tanuki just takes advantage of the split from VIRTUSPRO. Does not use the solo call on the backline, turns instead on Sparker, who's now burned out the BRB. That means that you can use Comic Revival to bring your Luna back into the mix, and Heretics suddenly have player advantage in the fight.
Luna goes down again for a second time, meaning that Alex and Luna were both off the board. Enzo is trying to take the duel, trying to take the momentum here, but with the Cosmic Guard Amplifier from the side.
No, I don't think Gambit can cleanse a Deadpool ult. Not to my knowledge, at least.
Have
Maybe someone in chat might know, but I don't think you can cleanse
They still
that.
have enough time for a re-engage if they're able to just not get staggered, not get caught, because right now,
that's something
Ken's
that
not
I've
in
actually
the
never
best
seen
position.
before.
He's very isolated from the team, but will be able to get away.
Yeah, has to have the It's Jeff to be able to match up to the damage output of Fi with this Galactic Legend. No Cosmic Gun Amplifier, no Gambit ult to boost it. Beetle will be able to get the touch with the Venom swinging on through, so Heretics get the opportunity to take the fight.
Cosmic Gun Amplifier coming on out. Saipe takes down Beetle. Right off the bat, there's no revive here. Comic Revival not on the board. Both the front lines are taken out immediately. It's Jeff. They have to burn it fast just to make sure that they can get healing onto the point. But Nevix comes in from the top rope and takes down the double.
This is a very competitive game, chat. It's going back and forth. This is very competitive. Yo, the game's not done, Nevix, come back!
I wouldn't say easy. Heretics, a few hiccups, like using Comic Revival to bring your Luna back, but then losing your Adam instantly after, so Alex is only able to take the one through, as you'd already used the self-revive before, and then Heretics trying to use like a lot of ults to brute force these fights. There was an opportunity. They actually get the pick off onto Fi when he has Galactic Legend and Dridro has Cosmic Gun Amplifier before the Star-Lord ults. And you see the panic from VP. Like, Dridro invests Cosmic Gun Amplifier on point. VP actually swapped someone, hovered on Strange, thinking that a portal would be required before realizing, no, actually, Heretics are running out of steam. They're not finding more eliminations. They're not breaking Cosmic Gun Amplifier. We don't have to go for the Strange. Both of these teams are being pushed to the brink, and it is not clean Marvel rivals from both sides. There are mistakes for both of them to take advantage of.
Eyes on the Strange, looking to potentially take advantage of some mistakes right now. Looking for an aggressive portal positioning to try and take someone out early, and Enzo is a victim. Immediately, Fi is going to just see if there's anyone else to grab here. Fi is staying on Strange. Triple Vanguard coming in from VIRTUSPRO. Take advantage of that early pickup to make their way onto the board quickly.
Oh, that's actually so perfect from VP. They can't teleport directly onto Heretic Stack because they would just respond with Soul Bond or Symbiotic Shenanigans. As Enzo actually comes back on Strange himself to teleport back in and allow Heretics to have the full team available. Sparkle of Dance of the Butterflies tries to dodge from Alex by using that jump pad.
That hits him? He flew to the high ground. He was on the high ground. That hits?
To survive the Psylocke's damage. Forces actually Heretics to having to burn the Luna ult just to hold VP off from capping. Alex is able to revive though with the Cocoon to stay in the fight. Dridro not so lucky. Alex goes down a second time though with that Raging Royal flush. But the counterplays from Heretics are working out beautifully here. Feast from the Abyss. Enzo falls and it's just a slog here. It's Naga though, former duelist who takes the double, finally going down to Nevix who just has their number so far. It seems Nevix's job is just stop Naga. He's a problem. And it works out a little bit, but just
wait, why did they say Naga, former duelist? He's playing Luna.
Yeah,
he's still playing DPS.
That Gambit ult as well. Now means that he's out of sync with Fi. Dridro with the Cosmic Gun Amplifier, maybe to have one-shot potential for Nevix's Feast of the Abyss, as Alex is about to bring that Comic Revival and all of Heretics players right back online. If VP can't find the Adam, they've already been able to find two. They do it before Comic Revival is fully built. Sparker now scouting out where Alex would be playing below the point, not giving him the opportunity to invest that ultimate, which means those eliminations stick, and VIRTUSPRO complete the flip. And the Stagger taking out Tanuki right at the end.
I would like to see a Hulk one day in the tournament. There's been a lot of Hulk players, chat. A lot of Hulk players.
A lead here as they have a full positioning advantage. They don't have to worry about a portal for another minute or so, so they've got plenty of time to just poke away and build up their strategist ultimates. Let Dridro and Saipe just deal as much healing as they can, so Fincy and Nevix can take some damage to prepare, because Ken and Alex, they're already charged.
Oh, they found Tanuki. Fi goes first with Galactic Legend. Heretics trying to survive it with the healing from It's Jeff, as well as that natural cover. Beetle actually body blocking a massive portion of the Star-Lord ult, but that leaves Ken behind.
I like how even the pros can't hit the Jeff.
Evasive fish maneuvers to try and get out of danger.
Even pros can't hit the Jeff, which I'm very happy about because I thought I was ass.
The cocoon, so just in case they need a revive, because Enzo is taking a lot of damage. Tanuki finishes off the dance with the butterfly, which will be mirrored by Sparker a little bit later. Finds Ken, but here comes the revive. They need to get to Ken though in order to revive him, because Sparker is marking the body. Will make it there into the backline with that raging roll. Flush means the damage output is good. Waiting for the end of the res. Beetle returns, but with the
not necessarily what pro. I mean, I don't know if you know, but Crazy Kitty was actually having a huge game last game on the Wolverine. But it's not like...
Well, they're going for the White Fox instead of the Adam
I don't think
Warlock,
it's necessarily a player that I like watching. I just like really... I just like watching really close games, really good like series.
The wider aspects of this map, yeah, getting that pickoff onto Luna super early means that Fate of Both Worlds denied. Tanuki actually having to go for the Strange Swap to try and portal Heretics onto this point in time to be able to keep these players back in that fight. Beetle gets the touch. You should be able to bring your Luna and her ult back in with that Strange TP, but VP can play the long game.
Ken's taken down, the dive comes in, Beetle tries to zone for them, but it's just not enough. In the meantime, Sparker's building up towards a Dance of the Butterfly for themselves with the constant guard amplifier to pile the pressure onto the backline while Alex has some counter dive.
Oh,
they need to keep the healing output going. Fate of Both Worlds will expire just in time.
He almost has his ult, and the other team doesn't have any support ults. Come on, Sparker.
Does some damage,
Pop
but
it.
it's not enough to take them down as they're sending into the backline
Pop
to try
it.
and take out Stratus Dance of the
Wait,
Butterfly.
did Sparker just airball?
Great evasion. Alex falls.
Oh no, he
but
got
the
one
rest of the
kill.
backline
He got
of
one kill.
Heretics
Oh my god,
holds for now.
Sparker.
Means they can keep some pressure on the board. Enzo takes down Saipe. Vince returns thanks to the Battle Rebirth Beacon onto the board, but with Enzo down, it's just Beetle who can touch the board.
What's the percentage above the face
scan
scan mean? That's their ult charge. I don't know why they have the ult charge 3 times on your screen.
Getting hit from
But
max range
yeah, it's your ult charge.
Beetle is getting pressured down so hard. There's the teleport away from fight to make sure they don't get caught out of position here. And now it's all about positioning. They do get the flip. Heretics hold barely as VIRTUSPRO just unable to burst through.
Yeah, but VP were able to force Ken into a position of using its Jeff. So if you're VP, now you have one win condition, and that's build up Saipe's ult and go with it. Tanuki has to hold Eye of Agamotto, can't use first. You're waiting for that Purify to be gone from the Gambit cast, and in the meantime, you have to get the jump on VP's backline.
Tanuki already built up with an Eye of Agamotto and pretty proficient on a melee character. Straight is not a melee character, but sometimes likes to play as one, and Tanuki showing exactly the damage output that Strange can have here. Already on the character, making the most of it, pressuring forward. Fi dropped incredibly low, forced her back away, and that White Fox starting to find themselves a little bit isolated if they're not careful, but is able to retreat back to Tanuki. Naga falls though, as does Ken, meaning it's just Alex healing up 3
This is a really good series so
far.
far.
You get this ricochet healing, so that's still going to be quite the challenge. In comes the Rage and Roll Flush with the Kumiho to try and tag them through. Tanuki is low, Tanuki is down,
no, that's game.
Is
that's game, chat. That's game.
VIRTUSPRO go for the counter take, meaning it's all down to overtime. No portal available, so it's just going to be a rush to the point. Anyone who's still up, throwing bodies at it.
That was a really great series from Team Heretics, though.
That's going to be a VIRTUSPRO taking map number 1.
That was a really
Heretics
great
just
series
let
from
the
Team
off
Heretics.
angle lane fight slip through. Like the Psylocke, the Venom, both being able to break
brought it
out,
back,
hit the back line, take Ken out early, then turn their attention to Luna. Since your White Fox was playing up with your Strange, trying to get those pickoffs and delay
Also,
VP
I do
from
believe that's what
regrouping
you're
and
gonna have to do.
walking
You're gonna have to
forward.
ban that Rocket,
Reinforcing
dude.
the issue with the Gambit
Rocket
ult
gets so
just
much,
became the sort of
so much
self-fulfilling
value.
prophecy. They didn't want to let VP go first aggressively, and then they lost their backline, which, surprise, allowed VIRTUSPRO to push forward aggressively with all of the ults now built up from that Gambit engagement.
VIRTUSPRO, though, put on quite the show, but
Do you have a
Heretics
cold?
did make
No.
them work for it. Can they turn it round in map number 2? We'll find out.
Okay, chat, we're going on a break. I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick, and I'll be right back, okay? Like, give me 2 seconds. Okay, sorry. I gotta go to the bathroom. I just came back, and I don't know what the hell this guy just said. I'm over here stroking my shit to Lady Loki. I got lotion on my... Okay, yo, bro, what is going on, bro? What is going on? I just went to the bathroom for 2 minutes. That's what I see. Saipei, whenever Rocket is banned, is so mad and ranked. It's kind of funny. Why? Does Saipei like playing Rocket? I feel like Saipei would be the type of person that would probably want Rocket banned because he's really good on a lot of other characters. Also, why is TTK awake right now, bro? TTK, it's like 6 a.m. for you. What are you doing awake? Don't tell me TTK is just about to go to sleep, bro. Oh my god, there's no way. You did not just wake up at 6 a.m. What kind of 20-year-old who plays video games is waking up at 6 a.m.? There's no way. You just ended stream, didn't you? No. I always wake up in the middle of the night. Wait, I always wake up middle of the night. What do you mean you always wake up in the middle of the night? Bro, it's 6 a.m. 6 a.m. is not in the middle of the night. Yo, what's up, Purple Haze? I'm off to work today and I woke up early to watch your stream. Oh, well, W. A night shift guy who TTK? No, TTK, bro. TTK goes to bed at like 1 p.m. and then he has a game at like 5. This shit's ass. Oh. My game is at 1. Your game is not at 1. Wait, whenever he is losing and Rocket is banned, he is hyper pissed at the Rocket bans. That's weird. I go to bed at 7:30 a.m. and I wake up at 2:30 p.m. That's a very interesting schedule. Oh, also TTK, bro, you better make that Swamp Gaming 100 Thieves game close.
How tilting must it be to have a
bro,
guy
you were playing your KD yesterday, bro. On that museum map. You weren't even playing for your team. You were just playing for your stats.
Skin. We sort of highlighted him earlier on as well. And whilst we're getting into the summer scenes, I suppose, for Ignite, as we're reaching international qualification, VIRTUSPRO refused to wash away despite being the first round down, managed to swing things back into their favor to be able to beat Team Heretics on this random domination map to begin with. Techa, it felt the Heretics might have come out with a pretty unorthodox composition had the gambit available chose not to play it instead of going triple strategist with the Adam. It seemed that might have had to go too if it wasn't for VIRTUSPRO making the right adjustments and actually being able to counter it.
They were hovering the Mantis for a little, sorry, the Gambit for a little bit, but decided against it, like you said. And Moxie was talking about it during the break and during the previous series, that Sparker, the second they realized, hey, this Adam is actually getting a little bit of work done, just decided to be on Adam marking duty with the help of Fincy for the entire rest of that series.
I guess
47 limbs?
It's a lot, isn't it?
20 finals.
He had one job, which was dealing with the Adam, but I think like with Heretics' like composition, they still remained a triple strategist with Alex moving over, who could have been the MVP honestly for Heretics if Heretics were able to win that 2-0.
Sparker had 41,000 damage.
But it's also like a statement, right? Of Heretics, like they had the Gambit, they go for a draft. It was the first like completely mirrored draft that we'd seen VIRTUSPRO play, and it would be the first time that they would have ever lost a mirrored game where the draft ever full stop in Ignite, because it's never really happened.
There was a lot of theory crafting. Like, every time Gambit's been nerfed, teams always experiment to see, like, if you had to still instant ban him, if there was a way that you could let one side
I said VIRTUSPRO wins
through to the enemy team and still be able to win. One of the ways that a lot of teams
ordered a
tried
salad
to
and
work
they
around
gave me
one side of
2
Gambit was
burgers.
Adam.
Nice.
The whole idea was that you would let the enemy team use, like, their Gambit combo of something like Star-Lord. You'd go into that fight understanding you would lose all their players. You'd play to keep your Adam safe. You'd use Comic Revival. Everyone will be brought back. And I feel like that's something that Heretics were attempting to do. My issue with it was that Comic Revival did not really bring the majority of the team back since the first round, like round 2 and round 3. Multiple times,
I think Team Heretics was playing really well
one sole player back because they got picked early by VIRTUSPRO, being like very aggressive, taking their lane fights, winning out those 1v1 duels, or it was totally shut down because Alex used it when Cocoon was on cooldown because he'd been picked earlier by players like Sparker, who, like we said, they had one job, right? Go mark the Adam, make sure that Alex, each time he tries to use the Comic Revival, does not have the cooldown. If he gets taken down for the ultimate, no one else from Heretics is brought back. So I think for me, while it worked for a round, VIRTUSPRO, like, obviously had to take a little bit of time working out how to play into the tempo of the triple strat. Adam
Jay
obviously expecting that Gambit
just put Jay up on the old
to
TV so I could lurk and pass out.
I wish that Heretics had moved away from the Adam sooner.
Love working
so that they got the
overnights?
opportunity
Wait,
to
you're working
build up
over.
the strategist ultimate.
Oh,
when
you're
they
gonna go to
actually
sleep
swapped.
now. I thought you said you were at work and you're gonna go to sleep.
Heretics, their win rate on Convergence is 100%, and they managed to play it out 6-0. So it feels like you could also go over towards Convoy. It's gonna be lower Manhattan.
Wait, whose team has 100% win rate on Convergence? Was that Team Heretics?
Beforehand, and seemed to deal with it pretty nicely in a series.
Or was that VIRTUSPRO
against Reason Gaming yesterday? It's also their 10-1. So these are two very good Convergence teams. If it does go
Manhattan,
to a 2-0 lead for VIRTUSPRO, they'd
chat,
have to
we're
go
going to Manhattan.
Convoy, where they're 5-6. They're not doing as
What's
well.
up, Cargo? How you
This is
doing?
a
How you
map
doing? Good
where
morning.
Heretics want to try and take the lead with a curveball.
Has stream stopped since last night? Yes, I did go to bed for a few hours.
Number 2's draft, and so far, everything's familiar. Mantis bans, Gambit protects, unless VIRTUSPRO are about to do something weird. But VIRTUSPRO are a safe, steady team. They'll
guy has
throw something
J3
weird
hair. Who?
very rarely because they know they can just beat you straight up. And there is going to be that
Naga?
protect.
Yeah, the weirdest thing they did yesterday probably was just running Penny on defensive first point versus Reason, which I would assume they will do again since they're starting off on defense before moving to the default composition, which they will be playing around as, okay, we do get deviation in Bandraft this time. So Heretics remove Fi's Daredevil, VP remove Heretics access to the Rocket Raccoon. So no teleport for Star-Lord and no
they're gonna save
DRB,
Rocket, chat. They're gonna
which
save
was
Rocket.
something that VIRTUSPRO were able to use, relying on to be able to stand up to the res situation that Heretics had available with that BRB, able to bring all of their players back, as opposed to the Adam only able to bring himself back once.
Yeah, you kind of got to. You brought it up a good point of the fact that Adam was only really able to bring back like 1 or 2 people at a time, and with the length of time it takes to charge up Karmic Revival, Rocket was potentially getting even more value with the Battle Rebirth Beacon. The difference is Rocket cannot revive himself, which is where a lot of the extra value comes in, but Rocket's ultimate also still exists outside of those revivals. Daredevil going to be protected here. Heretics securing themselves a one-sided.
Are they actually leaving Cyclops in the game?
Tanuki here, putting some pressure onto VIRTUSPRO. But VIRTUSPRO, they have secured themselves the Lunar Snow. They have the option to go for that anti-dive strat if they want to with the White Fox. The question is, other teams have tried. Will VIRTUSPRO be the ones to make it work when, you know, Tanuki is unleashed?
Well, it's not just about what that Daredevil can do for setting up Heretics, it's also about what that Daredevil can do shutting down VP. VP not having access to Daredevil themselves, if you want to try to run Sparker on that Psylocke and be like more aggressive, more roam heavy
DK,
in the
you're a
rotations
pro.
that he
Who
was
wins?
making, like he was when we went to the latter stages of the domination round.
Who wins?
He's going to have to get past the Daredevil bouncer check first, which will make it a lot harder to go put pressure on Heretics back line, because coming out of domination like that, I think is the lesson that Heretics learned the hard way. Some of their strategists, Thatcher, had 13 casualties
really
on their side. Granted,
I
one of them was
VIRTUSPRO
the Atom,
wins.
so you're already
They have the
factoring
Rocket.
in like extra casualties
also have the
off of the
Cyclops.
self-revive.
They have
but
the
then your
Gambit.
next strategist had 12. So you can see that VIRTUSPRO were able to
I mean,
shut
Leia,
out
look at the
Heretics
VIRTUSPRO
backline.
comp, bro. Ooh, Team Heretics is running the double Gambit though.
Able to keep themselves in the fight, disengage when needed to, so that they can keep that healing output going. VIRTUSPRO, there's some pretty standard bans from the side of Heretics against them here, and as such, they've managed to go for some really powerful stuff here. We've got the Penny on the board for the zoning, which is a very difficult point to push, which is why we're seeing Beetle starting on the Strange. They're just going to try and skip the point to not deal with that problem, but they've also got Fi on the Wolverine, something we haven't seen a little bit, and Sparker setting him up on
that's
the
a
Cyclops.
huge
So they've
TP.
got everything they need to set up here, and Beetle, not just portaling his team here, swapping off so that he can rejoin the team on the Angela, and it's a full wraparound here. Not even just a half engage wraparound, it's a full reverse setup.
I mean, you have to take your time with portaling when you have Daredevil, since passive does not go through portal, right? So you go behind the point, you fully scout out where VP
with the Manson Prime sub.
and what they're playing with. This does give VIRTUSPRO the opportunity to kite away from Heretics push though, and bunker up in these small rooms, which are almost impossible for Heretics to be able to invade safely into off of Finzi on the Penny Parker. There's very little that they can do, as opposed to just like being able to pull people from VP outside of that room.
VIRTUSPRO all just went into that room
nothing to really be able to set it
and
up.
also
So
Team Heretics teleported
denied,
behind them, and now they
portal
ran
fight
all the way
denied
back
as well.
to the beginning.
We see the swaps over here. Enzo going to bring out the Magneto to just try and give them a shield so they can safely step up. Beetle is going to be sticking with that Venom, trying to get some pressure onto the backline so that someone can go in with Tanuki. Speaking of, Tanuki is still annoying people, still hovering around the backline, trying to pile on some pressure as Beetle dives in, swings away. Ken is also very deep in the backline, piling on a bit of pressure, and will get punished for it. Finzi, the mines are set up in strategic locations, giving them a great
Yeah, it was a
angle
good
so
portal.
far.
A lot of people
But
do that
Spark
portal
just
play,
chased
chat,
down,
to go in the
very
back.
nearly catches Beetle on the exit.
I mean, there's opportunity
You're
here for
basically flipping
Heretics.
them
They're
out.
taking more damage, so they will have first Gambit ult to try to brute force past VIRTUSPRO. So there should be ticks picked up off of the back of that uncontested ult. But VP, if they don't lose all of their team, will just be able to play for retake and second Gambit ult when Heretics lose an opportunity of using something like Invisible Boundary. Is they're really rotating for heroes, trying to work out what exactly to use. There's the Gambit ult engagement. VIRTUSPRO going for the full disengage, only losing Finzi. No BRB to bring him back, but that's still
God,
not
you know
a lot of
what game I
players
can't wait for?
that Heretics were
I can't wait
wanting
for
to
the
deny
FlyQuest
VP
game,
from
chat.
recontesting.
It is a big one though, it takes out the nest, meaning that while there's still some mines on the board, although they have now disappeared as Finzi swaps over to the Strange. Counter coming on in with
no, not the
own
FlyQuest,
raging
not the
roll flush.
FlyQuest.
We see
The team they
Heretics,
consider
they're
that
happy
game.
to give away
Because
some of the
Vess's
positioning.
mom
Here
is
comes
actually
the
so
Ruby
nice.
Rage, countered immediately by Sparker, and neither team finds a pickup here. But the difference is, VIRTUSPRO now have a defensive position set up again. Finzi takes out Naga, the rest of the team is grouped up, trapped in a choke point, allowing VIRTUSPRO to just creep forward piece by piece and try and isolate them, take them out, and that's going to be a very slow
this
and
hold is
unfortunate device
insane.
for this next push of Team Heretics, and they're running out of time, Mox.
Yeah, and you won't even force Dridor's Fate of Both Worlds potentially with Tanuki's ult, because Nevix can counterplay it with Sonic Seduction to totally shut down the Star-Lord. So Heretics might be coming into this fight with more ults, but it is so crucial that they keep Alhix alive to be able to hit this Gambit ult to fully push VP off of this point and pick up that last checkpoint to stop the full hold.
Heretics making their way in. Beetle on the flank with Tanuki on that Star-Lord, with that Galactic Legend. They have a lot of the tools they need. Alex is almost built up to that Raging Royal Flush. Vi takes Beetle out of the fight, removes him from the board. Symbiotic Resilience has to be burnt early so that they don't get caught out of position. Beetle forced to use Feast of the Abyss for defense.
What
here.
a dodge! Beetle got solo ulted. Poor guy.
Here's the Raging Royal Flush. DRITRO has to match with the fate of both worlds to try and tank on through to the point. Meteor M to take down the defensive here. If they can take out DRITRO, that would be huge, but they tank through it, sustaining through the fight, allowing the psionic seduction from Nevix to try and take people out of that invisible boundary. But right now, the positioning of Heretics has allowed them to hold through the fight, but they just burned every resource, and they have only found a 1-for-1 trade with overtime ticking down. It's now a battle in the neutral. Naga charges up the Ruby Range, looking for the blow-up to take them down, but finds Spy, drops them to the bottom.
Missing that, chat. You can't be missing that, bro.
Turns it around, but with
and
the
they have
Gambit
Gambit.
Heretics may have finally broken the line here. They take down Fi. They need to push on through. The point is taken, and VIRTUSPRO are now just funneling in to get taken down to buy time so that they can regroup on the
barely
point
a cap.
And right now, there's a hefty stagger coming in from Heretics.
Oh, it gets close, Tatcha. It gets real close. The Saipe builds up Raging Royal Flush, but the Vanguards are down before they're able to take advantage of it. So Heretics get the eliminations, pick up the last tick required to walk into second, as Beetle now will be on that Hulk, taking high ground, setting up Tanuki into position of scouting. Where
someone in my YouTube chat was asking for Hulk, by the way.
The grab onto Nevix before he can go put the pressure on his back line. Venom and Emma totally denied from getting this pressure onto Alex, which allows Heretics to continue building up towards that Raging Roll Flush. It falls instead to Sparker to split their team, take all of that momentum with the Ruby Rage, and find the pick onto Ken, which totally stalls out Heretics' forward movement.
What's up, Jay? Greetings from New Zealand. How you doing, my friend?
From VIRTUSPRO, meaning Heretics, once their strategy
that's a place I want to go to, New Zealand, bro.
Up, they are gaining distance from this. Sparker forced to give up all the space. Vi pulls back, looks for another regroup. They try to punish Tanuki, who moves on in. We're seeing a double Wolverine all the way across the sky, trying to find an opening here. Beetle sent down into banner form, but it's a full commitment from Heretics. But the question is, with VIRTUSPRO just playing further back, all this is really getting his space. VIRTUSPRO just happy to wait that out.
Raging Royal Flush slightly missed time to keep Beetle in Hulk form, as Vi perfectly positioned with the last stand. Pins Enzo, so no mag bubble to be able to peel the players caught out by that Wolf ult. Beetle gains Hulk form, but Vi gains an inroad into the back line. Stopped totally by both the Hulk and the Invis, so not able to grab a player, but still able to push Heretics all the way back, and they do not have that Gambit ult to propel themselves forward.
Chat, why can't you guys be like the Silver Eagles guy?
Has to be used on
you are the greatest fucking player to ever touch this game,
to get the slow onto them so that Heretics can follow up with damage.
That's not a paid chatter, by the way, before you guys say that.
To the team, Prince's arrival, not going to be able to find a target, but with the Raging Royal Flush, they commit to try and make their way into the backline. With only 4 seconds to go, it's all about keeping the team zoned here. Meteor M, it's a huge split, but to take out Tanuki will be more than enough. Remove one from the board.
Also, someone was asking, does Tanuki play Wolverine? I think he does.
And the backline is starting to look real sparse for the members of Heretics, but there's a big pickup. Naga gets the double on the other side. The backline's deleted. Moxie! Enzo's off the board! It's frontlines for frontlines with the strategist taken down, but Heretics are still
Team
moving.
Heretics actually might cap this.
He can't really stay in this fight. He's able to grab a health pack and make their way back in, but there's still bodies. Nevix is delaying. Fi's trying to make their way in. The portal comes in for Tanuki to zone them off the board to try and keep this going. Monster
Bro, just kill point. They're gonna cap. They cap.
And point 2 goes over to Heretics.
A team that was almost about to get full held is now on third phase.
2 points taken, both in OT, but that does not lend a whole lot of time to push the more problematic area of this map third. VIRTUSPRO gaining access to environmental hazards and also closer respawns, but down the ultimates to be able to brute force the issue.
We streamed yesterday for 17.5 hours.
Wanting to try and have this pick potential, poking apart Heretics'
Today's going to be another 17.5 hours.
You have to understand that Heretics will be opening up with this Gambit ult. VIRTUSPRO have to be able to disengage. They do not have match. There's the opening from Alex. VP trying to pull away, but not able to escape the clutches of the Wolverine.
Tanuki making the most of this. Fincy was able to trade out so well, utilizing those shields to make sure they didn't get caught out of position, but just ran out of cooldowns for a while.
Only 17?
Here comes the launch. Tanuki missile caught on the terrain. Will be forced to wait, reset, and try again in a bit. As that allows VIRTUSPRO to make their way back in. Sparker is fully charged up with the Apex Predator as they've moved on in. Naga, Ruby Rage for the blow-up. Not able to find anyone here. Tanuki's dropped low, but now VIRTUSPRO with the Raging Roar Flush and Fire with the Galactic Legend.
Bro, he was so close from getting into that ult. He should have shifted in, not F.
Backline of Heretics is getting deleted here. It's all up to Enzo to just try and delay here, but with
that's
the Apex Predator to remove
average
anyone who's
stream
still
hours.
touching off the point during overtime.
Why are we comparing?
It's just about
Also,
for that portal
I don't do drugs.
here. If the portal's even off cooldown, which it shouldn't be, as it was used on point 2.
Yeah, Heretics had to
I do my
reset
shit
strategist ult charges off of the swaps that they made. Like, Ken went for White Fox for the OT fight on second, so is only really coming out with Invisible Boundary for Heretics to be able to defend against. So VIRTUSPRO sacrificed some distance so that they're able to build up this massive shore of ultimates
so we could get
for when
coffee.
the overtime hits. They have Raging Roar Flush, which forces Invisible Boundary in response. Then you have Galactic Legend to respond to that. Then you have additional levels of response if required.
That was a really good push considering how Team Heretics got full cap, almost full held, and they had 2.5 minutes to do the whole second phase. That's huge.
Clutches.
And then they had
stalled out, but for what
like a minute and a half for third.
They did get pretty far through Manhattan.
I think I don't want to say that this is like the second hardest map to fully cap in my opinion. The first map would be Museum of Contemplation. I think that map is like almost one of the impossible maps to cap.
And they don't even pick the Cyclops. They don't even pick the Wolverine. They don't even pick the Star-Lord. They've decided they were able to get some good distance, but with not much time. So they're going to try and waste as much of VIRTUSPRO's time as possible. The Penny, the Adam, the Loki, the Groot. It's all about burning through VIRTUSPRO's time back here.
I mean, Enzo potentially even counter-TPing VP spawn.
Ooh, potentially.
So that VIRTUSPRO don't just get to portal into an angle of trying to put pressure on that Penny generator, as no portals from both of these teams. VIRTUSPRO actually rolling out on the torch from Fi. They did show this for a little bit of time yesterday in their match versus Reason.
And
it's because this is a duelist who does not require touching the ground. So you don't have to worry about things like those Penny nests taking you out of this fight early. As VIRTUSPRO, it's a very slow approach to this point.
If I play pro, bro, that's too much stress. I'm gonna lose the rest of my hair. I'm trying to keep it.
That Penny nest is to break it before the rest of the team can commit forward.
Also, I like the torch pick here. This is very interesting.
Way forward, and we're starting to see Heretics. They're holding the point for now, but with Fi on the flank, they do need to be careful. Penny's actually going to be the one to try and zone Fi away from this objective, but the nest is already down.
I don't think I can take games as serious as I used to be for pro. I play games for fun now, chat.
Nest has been placed after the cooldown on the first one expires.
I got that squirrel girl mentality, bro. I only play for fun now.
Backline with some nice flanking nests here, but overall there's no percentage yet for VIRTUSPRO. They're making space, but they're not getting pickups yet.
I mean, Cypher is about to build his ult. VP are running double strategist. Heretics cannibalizing the ult charge.
Oh my god!
What a dive from Fi! Everyone from Heretics backline absolutely charcoal. As VP with that Gambit first ult, Heretics have no response to it. They'll try to go for a strange TP, but I don't think
they don't make it. They don't make it. Wow, bro, that's crazy. That's crazy. Good push from VIRTUSPRO, and I like the torch pitch. Wait, we have to keep it down. I'm starting to get a little loud. Emily's still sleeping, chat.
Fully charged towards an ultimate as well. It's a great map for some verticality.
I almost got in trouble, but if I got in trouble, I would have probably blamed you guys, so it's okay.
And prevent Heretics from getting set up. Heretics are sticking in the triple Vanguard, triple strategist setup. Raging Roar Flush stolen by Ken for the commitment from Heretics as they try and make their way into the backline, but the Penny is annihilated, trying to make their way with the Spider Time. And immediately Heretics, all that space they just gained is lost. Straggling Prison comes on in for the background via Magamoto for the second pickup, but a great Carbon Crush for for the turnaround, as Finzi may have just saved their backline. A Supernova comes on in, met with the invisible boundary, and now it's all about delaying, all about burning through the time. Heretics are throwing the entire kitchen sink at this, and they have slowed VIRTUSPRO, but they haven't stopped them yet, as VIRTUSPRO still hold the point. Finally, though, with Finzi finished off back to the walls from the group.
You know what? Finzi deserves that for not wearing the new
yeah, Heretics just have so many defenses now that they've been able to build up those ultimates, right? You had Soul Bond, you had Invisible Boundary, Loki Regeneration Domain as well. But Heretics were divested of 2 of those. You're only now holding on to Karmic Revival, which means that Tanuki has to perfectly survive the forward push from VP. Once Saipe has that Gambit ult good to go. That, or you delay VIRTUSPRO from being able to commit into this fight off of the pick early on.
I think this is like the second best team in EMEA against the third best team in EMEA.
Nevix away, and Spark wins the 1v1, forcing the Karmic Revival early. Saipe's got the Gambit ult to punish the position of it, and Fai's just sent in deep to Heretics' line.
The reses are good, though. Brings back 3 members, keeping the fight going for Heretics. Meaning that
I think the best team in EMEA is going to be Navi.
Pressure from VIRTUSPRO is piling.
I think VIRTUSPRO would be second, and Team Heretics would be third.
For Beetle, as they are able to punish VIRTUSPRO. Ayamakamoto comes on out, basically just on the back line.
Team Heretics is looking pretty strong here, though.
Heels of VIRTUSPRO as they are forced to reset again. And Heretics, this is exactly what they want to be doing. And now that Tanuki's finally used Res, he might be able to swap off if he goes down in the future, but Heretics are
any team with Terra is going to be number 1.
Burn time for every meter. It's the only way they're getting away with
this. So why wasn't 100 Thieves number 1 last
I mean, they're
year?
taking so many fights, and like you said, they're burning so much time, which is crucial off of how quickly they lost that first point. Ken will have copy onto potentially Invisible Boundary, or if you lose players early, Adam to be able to overcome that BRB and closer respawns from VIRTUSPRO to continue throwing players into these fights. He gets the steal onto the Gambit, though, so VIRTUSPRO now being much more on the defensive, not in a position to run away properly. Lose Finzi
is probably not even
kite.
here, bro. He's probably in the bathroom.
Stuck in spawn yet again, which has allowed Alex to build up to Invisible Boundary. That might not be enough, though, to stand up to the sheer firepower that VP will have within this next fight.
How are you going to say that I'm a dick? Chat, I was in China. I remember them losing. I was there.
To create space for walk, and then if the fight goes long, Saipe's unmatched Gambit ult. Ruby Rage to open from Sparker with the Cosmic Yarn Amplifier, finds the picks onto Heretics, and there's no Loki, no Adam ult to bring the players back.
Oh, Sparker. Sparker's looking like, oh my god, Sparker looks like Jay3 out there.
Just wipe them off the board.
Can I get a true?
Tanuki comes back again to buy more time. They just keep throwing bodies at the point. Yeah, Tanuki does swap off. He was at 80% of an ult charge, and it's just not worth it. You're not going to get more value out of the Adam here. You maybe get 1 more revive, but you've got to contest the objective. You've got to make sure that you have someone to deal with Nevix, someone to potentially catch Sparker. So we're back on the Wolverine, and Beetle bringing out the Hulk once again. Boundary's on the board, but Silent Seduction to try and prevent them from getting onto the board. Boundary does come out, though. This may allow Heretics to sustain through this fight just long enough that they might be able to get a turnaround.
No eliminations, though, which means Nevix 5, Feast of the Abyss, and Lost Stand. Pick potential, and Heretics, no response to it. No Loki, no regeneration domain. Fai's getting ready to brawl on the objective. Nevix applies the anti-heal onto both Enzo and Tanuki, and there's the Lost Stand setup that he was looking for.
How big is that range for his ult? He didn't even look like he was next to them. He launched them in the air?
Making a very calm walk.
What's the range on that shit?
They're just trying to take out the time. They're going to force overtime at minimum here from VIRTUSPRO, which gives them the best situation to maybe turn it around. And actually, that's 2, that's 3. VIRTUSPRO forced to retreat as Heretics get the positioning back.
Wait, there's no way.
No one can touch
it. Team Heretics, they eat the time.
Team Heretics tied the series.
Oh, Loki, Adam, Invis. Triple strategist stall out shenanigans from Heretics, win out Lower Manhattan. VIRTUSPRO's momentum slowed to an absolute standstill as Heretics pull a map to equalize 1-1, and we have the potential 5-map series that a lot of people are hoping for.
Find out if that continues that way. If Heretics
TTK Rena here 3 seconds ago. Oh, that's good. Cat was saying some mean things, which I don't really agree with. I was defending you, but yeah, I actually don't know why they weren't on Rocket as well. Wait, what? I love Saipei, but I'm rooting for Harry Dix. Who's Harry Dix? Do you mean Team Heretics? Team Heretics? You call them Team Harry Dix? Nah, bro. Nah, bro. You look tired? Nah. It's like running, bro. I just need to get my second win. DoorDash yourself some Dutch Bros. I don't think we have a Dutch Bros here on the East Coast. I think Dutch Bros is more of a... Isn't that more of a West Coast thing? What's up, Broccoli? How you doing? How you doing? Yo, Fox, appreciate the massive raid. I hope you had a great stream. Wait, what are you doing awake? Don't you have a match later today? Bro, why is TTK awake? Why is Fox awake? What are you guys doing up? Appreciate the massive raid. I hope you had a great stream. I finished prep and then stayed up. I am playing, bro. You still got to be there for your team. God damn, appreciate the massive raid, man. Also, I have to stay quiet. I'm sorry. I'm not as loud as I usually am. Wait, I finished my prep. Oh, wait, I just realized. Wait, you guys are playing against each other. TTK, well, you both are doing up. TTK and Fox, what are you guys doing? You know what? Instead of playing against each other and being enemies, maybe since you guys are both, you know, tired, you guys should come together, put your differences aside, have a sleepover. And Ginjanin Jaking, appreciate the massive 2 months, my friend. Sleep is optional in pro play. I mean, you could no. You could even ask Fox. Sleep is very important when you're competing, chat. Sleep is very, very important. No, what do you mean cap? TTK. Sleep is very important. It's not. What do you mean nobody needs sleep? What do you mean nobody needs sleep? Okay, I'm gonna remember that. Watch. When Swamp Gaming 3-0s 100 Thieves, I'm gonna remember that. Oh, you shoulda. You don't need sleep. You don't need sleep, bro. Watch. Watch. Sleep is very important. Only you unks need sleep. That's not true at all. Do you guys know how unhealthy it is to actually be awake for more than 24 hours? And then even long, and if you keep going and going, it's actually really bad for you. Jay, send me a hair follicle for my birthday. Nah, that sounds very sus. You're probably gonna take my hair and try to clone me. What the hell? Long-term lack of sleep also raises your risk of obesity, diabetes, depression, high blood pressure, stroke, and heart disease. Isn't it like if you stay awake for more than 24 hours, your chances of getting a heart attack actually double? That's fucking crazy, bro. That's crazy. What do you mean if I die, I die? What are you saying, bro? That's probably why you're balding. You sleep so much your hair can't grow where your head touches the pillow. Yoon. Shut up.
Team Heretics' convergence win rate is 8-0 now across the year, as a really solid win came in from Lower Manhattan. Scrappy in places, but VIRTUSPRO now have the choice of a convoy map, an area where also
Yo, Tech Master, appreciate the Master Prime sub, my friend.
Berber have been convoy connoisseurs and triple strategist merchants all the way through. Welcome back to this best of 5 series. One of these teams is going to be qualifying for mid-season finals.
Mango, appreciate the massive 5 months, my friend. How you doing? How you doing?
That we just saw like Navi and Rad earlier. Tetra, this felt like very much more back and forth, just in odd areas. I think VIRTUSPRO are going to be very frustrated because that could have been a full hold at the start of that defense, and it ended up going on to
There's a theory that sleeping starves off a inner demon, and that's why people get more groggy and angry while sleeping.
Being paid by the minute because they're just working.
That's the first time I ever heard anything like that. And broccoli with 5 months, I am not subbing to this old man. Bro, I'm not even old.
What we wanted to bring up, Roxy and I, was the fact that the Loki stole 2 Gambit ults
an
on
NBA
defense
Breezy with the massive Prime sub. Absolutely insane, my friend. Appreciate it.
For Heretics is re-engaged.
Really was just
also, how are you going to get mad at me for being old, Broccoli, when you literally play a game for old people?
At the end of their attacking second checkpoint, he managed to get through, and like I said, VIRTUSPRO managed to push it to overtime a couple of times and not being able to actually hold it out in the end. Weird too, with like stuff like the rocket being one-sided for VIRTUSPRO on VP's attack and not using it, and then using it on the defense. And Heretics making a one-sided Daredevil sort of work against them. They didn't actually pick the Daredevil themselves. Lots of Cyclops Wolverine team-ups to be going.
I didn't see it yet. No, I have to check it out.
The creative ideas that both these teams are trying to run compositionally.
Yeah, I think you can sort of see how uncomfortable
Did they
and
announce
sort
it yet, Broccoli?
Scrappy that VP have to become once they lose the resources of like the Daredevil and also the Captain America, though I feel like
it's a points
Heretics have a
system that
very
you can
good
add and
backdraft of just like
subtract.
forcing VP out of their comfort zone.
Do you
because,
know where
like,
the LAN
VP,
is,
when
Jay?
they've won titles, they've done it
Do I know
off
where
of
the LAN
Double Dive
event is
Vanguard
for the pro players?
with the Daredevil. They looked uncomfortable playing the Devil Dino meta and went back to the Double Dive Vanguard meta, and it worked out for them in both preseason and group stages when we saw them like have their true strength of matches then. So I think continuing to target out the Cap and the Daredevil is a very smart option, since you don't gain the opportunity.
The LAN event
of
is
saving
going to be
them.
somewhere
If you're VP, you would have to make the choice of
on this planet.
Gambit save, continuing with that, or letting something like that Daredevil be the first save. But I think you have to keep the Gambit in play. So until we see those two make it through the draft, this series will continue to be as close as it was on Manhattan.
Yeah, VIRTUSPRO having nightmares, I think.
You may
about
look
this
like a
Team Heretics
UNC.
squad under
I don't know why it doesn't say
certainly
UNC,
when
but you are
mid-season
not
finals
an
was brought
UNC.
up. This is the
Appreciate it, guys.
squad, Tetra, that not only knocked VIRTUSPRO down to the losers bracket for stage 1, but they also eliminated VIRTUSPRO from stage 1, which meant the Berber Patspim, now the Team Heretics roster, 5 out of 6 at the very least, went to the mid-season finals. VIRTUSPRO had to stay at home.
+4 secret global.
Yeah, I think we know we're going to Convoy. I'm wondering if VIRTUSPRO were like less likely to pick Midtown because that's the map that happened.
Yeah.
That's the map that we're putting. Well, we don't even get to see it. We're going to
There's
see
no
it.
way
Yeah,
they
you don't
worry.
pick Midtown. If you're a dive team, you do not pick Midtown.
No, for sure.
That's of all of the convoy maps in rotation. That's the one that it's hardest to run the dive on, and that's the one that also plays into the strengths of things like the Groot and the Penny, which was something that Heretics were able to use for so
Bolt
long.
action
Once you
rifles
go
start
into
at level
draft,
10.
Heretics are 6-1 on this map. It's their best map by far, and VIRTUSPRO chose it. Let's see how this goes.
That is rough, but to be fair, every map Heretics are on has a positive, very high win rate, and just via benefit of the fact we've been seeing Museum a lot, there is going to be a lot of good scores for Heretics here. So we'll see if VIRTUSPRO just have the faith that they have the outplay potential here. For now, though, we're in the draft, and it's looking pretty standard so far. But now, will Heretics, with their opportunity to try and replicate the success, yes, they are going to continue the same strategy here, removing Daredevil from the board.
Interesting.
And likely following up with a cap ban, as well as they go for one-sided Daredevil save. VP not getting the opportunity of removing that Daredevil. So Heretics have flanking potential, diving potential, and one-sided information.
They're scared of the Wolverine, bro. They're scared of the Wolverine.
Was an issue, and it absolutely was. Tanuki was getting so much work done. Do they go for the save on the cap?
Don't tell me they're going to save Luna
before Heretics can target it out. I fear though if they go for the save on the cap, Heretics will just
safety with the massive 100 bits.
Venom,
Appreciate it.
so that they can still remove one of the two dive vanguards for VP to be able to play, as they will save the Luna Snow instead to still be able to have that Luna and Gambit backline access, which means that if Heretics want to again replicate that ban draft, which found so much success.
I get told that I'm in my 20s, but I'm 36 with a 14-year-old kid. That's good. That means you have really good,
with the exception of Logan appearing for
good genetics.
Fans taking that away from Heretics because Tanuki is a monster. He is a Tanuki, not a Wolverine, but he certainly cosplays well. Heretics, they stick with their strengths. They know what works, and they just try to replicate it. We see in the Contemplation another map where we could see the return of the Penny that we saw from Heretics and VIRTUSPRO for a little bit of
Yeah, I don't know why they're saving Luna, man. I would save Rocket instead.
They still do the clap!
Yay,
they
we love
still
that.
do the clap. For those of you who are watching Marvel Rivals esports for the first time, this was a tradition that was started in Berber-Patapim, who were, as Ryan pointed out, 5 out of 6 of Heretics' players were on Berber-Patapim before they became Liquid or Citadel, and then moved
Where are
into
they saying
Heretics.
they're doing
now,
the clap,
there was a tradition that they did at the start of all of their maps
doesn't
to make
play
sure
to
that
the
they
last
were
game
all
of
on the
NA.
same page for coordinating dive, where they would count to 3
what are
and
they even
clap
talking
all
about?
at the same time, and it is lovely to get to see them still doing this, not on LAN, but here on our player cams.
We love to see it. And looking at the defense here, is they're all on the same page for delays. It's triple Vanguard, triple Strategist, but without the
I live in Hong Kong. The only way to watch you is to be up all night and rinse and repeat, no sleep. Bro, chat, sleep is important. You guys are on YouTube. You guys can always see my YouTube
might be able to
videos.
put some beats to it. Might be able to put some pressure onto that flying character.
We'll also eat the
Also,
Torch
I really do like the Torch pick. A lot of people say Torch is dead or not as good, but Torch is doing really well right
losing
now.
the opportunity of playing from the air, also having steal of the poke pressure from the mag with that
Well,
threat
casters
of
are
the right
louder
click.
than
So
you.
having
Yeah,
to be
I know. I
very
have to stay
wary,
quiet because
playing around
Emily's
this
sleeping.
cover,
When
understanding
she's
he will
awake,
not
chat,
be
don't
gaining
worry.
a
I'll be
lot
loud.
of healing, since VP not running the Invisible Woman to shield stagger and Fi to be more aggressive in his position, which means that we get a slower burn approach. They've been able to find Ken, though, getting him low enough to force out the regeneration domain before he can exchange back to the rest of his team.
Now going to try to go for a dual hit scan character on the standard quantum magic here to get a
You want
little
me
bit
to
of
die?
pressure onto Fi if they can land those shots. The conflict cluster.
You
is
want
a
me to go wake
projectile
up?
Though, but for now, it's
You
just
want me to
Devin's
die?
taken down here, utilizing the Groot wall of Beetle, but Battle Rebirth Beacon from the
Yo,
one
Deadshot with the massive 5 hit subs. Absolutely insane, my friend. Appreciate it.
Cypher is actually going to be on the flank. Pulsing
Massive
Dark going to
W.
fly away here, and with the Cosmic Yard Amplifier, immediately 2 members go down. There is nowhere near a revive available for Naga. Meaning VIRTUSPRO take advantage of their quicker ult charge to gain positioning.
Well, Beetle will go for the Strange, so Heretics still think that they can take this fight. Ken's so close that Loki ult in comparison to Saipe. If you can get the copy onto the Gambit, then you can purify
with a massive 5
the hit of
gifted
Kraken impact from
subs
Sparker
as well.
VIRTUSPRO
Absolutely insane, my friend. I appreciate it.
But Bulwark's there to keep Tanuki up. Heretics looking for Ken to get this opportunity. What will the copy be? Finzi using Stone Seduction, trying to get the pressure onto the Loki so he doesn't get freedom of choice to get the pick onto the Gambit, and no, he can only copy the Adam, which means you get a second cast of Soul Bond to walk.
The Karmic Revival did come out, but everyone on Heretics is tanking through this barely. Hellfire's low, Sonic Seduction, Invisible Boundary, allowing them to keep this delay going, and this is familiar to last match, Moxie, as right at the edge of the point, Team Heretics come alive.
Yeah, Meteor Am about to come online for Tanuki as well.
With the massive gift sub to Jay3 is
for
tall
Heretics
and
if they lose
handsome.
players. They're using the Mago early to just try and take away the pressure from VIRTUSPRO walking with that one-sided Gambit, giving the space to build up that Karmic Revival and get these players back
3 years
into
ago.
the throws. Beetle using that Eye of Agamotto, but now that Meteor Am's done, Supernova blankets out the objective, and Heretics losing that revive window, lose their players now for real.
Media M before
Good
Supernova,
amplifier.
Revive before two people went down.
Huge
VIRTUSPRO
rocket
find
ult.
the opportunities, utilizing as
Which
many of their tools
I
as
don't
possible
understand.
after
Why
the
didn't they
defensive
play
tools
rocket
of
last
Heretics
game?
are
But
gone, and they claim that first point. At Heretics, it's an immediate swap. They're not going to get the big spawn hold anymore.
I think
now
Rocket
all
is
about
gonna get a
taking
nerf,
these
chat.
fights. So Cyclops makes its way to the board, and Tanuki gets that one-sided Daredevil.
Wait, Finzi on the penny? On
Defensive
attack?
penny.
Defensive
We
penny, I mean,
saw
it will
it.
actually
We
work
did.
hard
And they got off of-
against
they got
things
off
like
the rocket
Angel
to
and
go Luna
Venom,
here.
as well as
Yeah.
making it really problematic for Heretics to be
TTK,
able to solve this
explain.
objective. Right, it's not just the Daredevil that you have to worry about, it's the soul potential of the Cap and that Venom, allowing Heretics to be able to take more fights than VIRTUSPRO would have ultimates to be able to see through.
This did appear yesterday, at least a little bit, so seeing the return here, Finzi's just trying to make sure that their backline is protected. If the Daredevil wants to dive, it's gonna meet mines. That's the vibe here, just prevent the dive coming on in here. Beetle
Especially with
forced to
Sparker
disengage.
hooking people into it as well, right?
Yeah, it's like the Devil Dinosaur combo, but without having to play Devil Dinosaur because he's a bit bad at the moment. So they're going to keep some pressure onto the backline. Here comes the Raging Royal Flush from the side of Team Heretics.
I have
trying to
never
take
seen a fight in
advantage,
this room
try and
before.
Take any positioning they
I
can.
have
They will
never
get
seen a
through.
fight before.
Sparker taken down, and only one ultimate used here for Heretics to claim the position here and force VIRTUSPRO back into spawn.
Yeah, and VIRTUSPRO now lose access to those rooms where they could fortify with the penny, bunker down, and make it so hard for Heretics to be able to push them out of. So Alex with Fate of Both Worlds will be able to survive the engagement of Feast of the Abyss if VP even get the opportunity to use it. As Finzi's taken out early, VIRTUSPRO no space to
Navi
be able
beat
to
Rang
contest the
earlier
sheer
today,
amount of
chat.
incoming damage from Heretics
that
poke. Sparker actually swapping off of the Bucky onto the Psylocke just to try to get through.
No,
past
VIRTUSPRO
that
did not
information
ban
check from
Captain
Heretics, but
America,
with Tanuki
chat.
on the Daredevil,
Team
you
Heretics
always know where he
banned Captain
is.
America.
Feast of the Abyss early from
They can
Enzo.
still play
Saipe
it.
using that Raging Roll Flush in response, but this
Marty
should not
Goose,
find
appreciate that for 4
eliminations
months.
as Alex
Hope you're
has
having a
the
great
Fate
day.
of Both Worlds
Also, I
to
still
allow
have this.
Heretics to hold their own.
Here comes the counter though as Tanuki goes into the backline, but gets webbed up immediately. It's a 3-second stun, which is allowing a little bit of sustain coming out from VIRTUSPRO as they mirror with their own Fate of Both Worlds. Vi now with their Galactic Legend tries to take the duel into the Daredevil. The deflect comes on in, but there's just too much damage. Vi able to take them down. He's now chasing any retreating members of Heretics that they can. With 2 members down, the remaining members of Heretics are forced to retreat through the doorway, which allows the penny to set up, and suddenly the re-engage has turned into a incredibly difficult position.
Yeah, but one more fight which allows Heretics to come out with that Raging Roll Flush from Ken. Beetle taps onto the objective too to be able to stall it, but Heretics are
How would
split
I feel if my
down to
pro
the
career
butterflies,
started in
potentially
Marvel
finding
Rivals
picks, but it's
and not
Alex who walks
Overwatch?
with 2 of the eliminations off of the setup from that Ruby Rage.
I don't know.
Nevix does get
What am I
the
supposed to
pick
feel
off
now?
onto Alex in the backline though, so Gambit
I don't get
heals
that
only
question.
for Heretics and trying to keep their
I would
positions
feel
up with
exactly
their
the same. It's
vanguards,
just
able to
the
just
same
tank
thing.
all of that damage, stopping VIRTUSPRO from getting the cap. Crucially, 30 seconds before OT, Finzi has to go to Angela off of the Penny Parker so that VP get the opportunity of scouting out Heretics' close hold.
They find Tanuki, but not able to get the finishing blow. Tanuki able to dash on through. Like you said, they may have to just go for a dash touch to make sure that they can contest it. With 10 seconds to go, Fincy on the way, making sure that they're keeping some pressure onto the diving characters of Heretics so that they can claim a position as best as they can. It's going to be Nevix to touch the point, to put some pressure onto the board here as Tanuki is taken down by Fi. Pressure in. Beetle gets the counter onto Fincy, though, removing that main frontliner as overtime starts to trickle down if Nevix leaves that point at any time. Feast of the Abyss coming on out, though, as Enzo is keeping pressure into the backline, retreats into their own team so they can get some healing output, trying to put some of that pressure onto Nevix to take them off the board. Neither team has the Raging Royal Flush, but both are close. Nevix with Feast of the Abyss is creeping forward onto the board. Vader both worlds from Dridro, allowing the counter push. And with that Raging Royal Flush on the board, Alex is making their way back in, close to an ultimate of their own. It's all about delays, but no one's touching at least yet. Beetle gets it with 1.5 meters to go, but immediately the Raging Royal Flush comes out, takes them out quickly before the reinforcements can come.
Where's Alex at? Alex has the Luna ult. He has to use the Luna ult.
Half a meter to go. Vader both worlds for a little bit of extra delay to get the counter. They take down Dridro. They've got to keep touching.
They killed Alex through the Luna ult. Oh my god.
From the back limit of the butterflies onto the point to take them out. Naga falls. Sparker is keeping that Gambit off the board, but Beetle is still delaying.
They're still holding it. They're still holding it.
Comes on in from Enzo to keep the delay going for every possible second with overtime ticking down.
No way, bro. I thought VIRTUSPRO was going to get that. They comboed.
Win the fight from Heretics side.
They comboed the Venom ult with the Doctor Strange bust.
Super smart,
so they Venom ulted the Luna when she was ulting, and they also busted on her on the same time.
Is able to
the E. I don't know what it's called, chat.
He plays super safe all the way
you know
back,
what I'm talking about. They did it at the same time on Luna, and she died.
And get the focus onto the Gambit, which allows him to have the team contest with Raging Royal Flush. Then you build up into Fate of Both Worlds from Alex. Once VIRTUSPRO sustain is done, you slightly, literally half a second, you turn. It's such a risk going off of healing to the damage boost so that you can tip through the heals to get the hit onto Dridro. And then even if you lose players in that moment, you still have Freedom Charge to fall back onto, as Heretics are able to weather the storm of VIRTUSPRO's approach. And this is a very winnable Museum of Contemplation.
It's doable, and as such, VIRTUSPRO, they
Maelstrom
take
of
a little bit
Madness.
of a leaf out of Heretics' book
here. Who knows the abilities for all the characters in this game?
They're not fully committed.
I don't know any ability names. I just play the game because I like the game, chat, and I have fun.
Great for these close
I am not going to learn all the ability
once again,
names.
Fincy bringing out the penny. They've set up mines. They've set up a lovely path for those mines to make their way in. And if Nevix can get a carbon crush onto someone, might be able to force them into that explosive trap. As Fincy will find Naga on the long-range mine placement.
And no rocket to be able to instantly bring your duelist back, so that's a good 20 seconds or so shaved totally off of the time bank. As Ken was on Loki, actually decides to go onto the Invis, seeing both the Wolverine and the Cyclops in play, wants to be able to have that push and pull to counter the grabs. Does mean that you give up second cast of Raging Royal Flush though, so Saipa will have match for Alex. You're relying on Tanuki winning out the 1v1 mirror.
He will be piling on the pressure, at least for the moment. Blaster Barrage needs to not get caught out, so we'll cancel it early just to make sure that they have the advantageous position, not going to get caught out, and they even take down the Biotic Spider Nest.
Yeah, great shields from Ken.
Exactly. I don't even know the ability names for Strange. I'm a champion Strange.
Shield placements from Ken, which allows him to save the iframe. So they've been able to break corner.
I'm a champion Namor, and I can't even tell you his abilities by their real names. You have a bubble, you have squids, then you have big fish,
might not be needed. They're just going to take down the nest and the penny.
And then you have your right click, whatever the right click is named.
But both go down in the end, and that is just a convincing fight.
Damn, that was a huge fight for Team Heretics too. They had 5 minutes.
Yeah, so you couldn't quite complete the elimination because of Nevix's Sonic Seduction. So Finzy actually does a little bit of min-maxing. He body blocks with his own health bar on the Penny mech to keep the nest in play for slightly more time, but Heretics are still able to win out the fight overall. VP though, they still have their own Gambit ult to make a play for this retake. So Heretics having to be very careful, having to be ready to respond.
What is
with
Namor's ult
invisible
called?
boundaries.
Isn't it just Big
VP
Whale?
don't have good follow-up. Yes, they've got the Gambit
Moby
ult, but they
Dick?
don't have
What
something
is it
to be able to
called?
find eliminations through invisible boundary. And Heretics want to punish VP's aggression. They want to read, anticipate that Gambit ult, propelling the team forward, and they
Born of
massively
Proteus.
over-invest ultimates.
Yeah, you're a nerd, bro.
Both the Galactic
GG's.
Legend and Sonic Seduction in response alongside Invisible Boundary to Saipei's ult means that VP have house money when it comes to ult trades in this next fight.
Yeah, Heretics heard the Gambit ultimate and just hit all the buttons, and suddenly they get some momentum out of it, but all they got was
69
one
Carl,
hiccup.
69 for 2
Worlds
months.
is available
Appreciate
for
it.
VIRTUSPRO.
For
Now the butterflies
56
available,
months,
and they
and
will
good
soon
guy
have
Greg. Appreciate myself 11 months, my
with
friend.
it.
Did I get a good night's sleep?
That's
No.
a great position for VIRTUSPRO, as long as they don't stagger. Does the butterfly can be dropped quite early into the backline, seeing if they can force out any other tools, and once again, the other two buttons are pressed from Team Heretics. Ruby Rage and the Feast from the Abyss, it is enough to take down Finzi, and also Fi and VIRTUSPRO. They also just burn all their buttons and find nothing for it.
This is so dangerous for VIRTUSPRO. Like, this is final fight territory. You're relying on Heaven's Retribution from Finzi, but Alex can free the whole team with the Purify from Raging Roll Flush.
Yo,
You've given up down to the butterflies.
Down
Someone from VP has to find clutch eliminations on Heretics and fast, or this round is done.
Seeing the move back in, Raging Royal Flush from Alex this time doesn't want to give VIRTUSPRO time to regroup. Down goes one front line. The second is absolutely mullered with the Ruby Rage to try and remove people from the board. Tanuki heals back up, though not going down without a fight. Sparker falls, Dridro falls, and now it's all about Nevix, who will get one. Holds the line at least for the moment as reinforcements come back in. Finzi with a quick re-engage here, thanks to the speed of the Angela onto the board. Tanuki has the Galactic Legend to try and push on up. Saipei is charged with that Raging Royal Flush with the Invisible Boundary about to fall. Here it comes. Galactic Legend try and take them down before the damage can be done. And it's working out. One falls, two falls. The front line is melting Moxie as
VIRTUSPRO is losing
but it's all about Nevix
1-2. Team Heretics
delaying with every second they can as Portal is going to attempt to come back in. I think it was interrupted. No Portal on the board, so it's all about rushing the point here. They send everything at the point, but VIRTUSPRO fall one by one, and Heretics, they'll make you a believer.
They capped with 2 minutes, bro.
VIRTUSPRO looking very uncomfortable when it comes to coordinating, regrouping, and not over-investing ultimates in some of those fights, as Heretics is looking in total control of that last fight especially. Invisible Boundary forcing a response of Raging Roll Flush.
How can it be a reverse sweep, chat, when VIRTUSPRO already won the first game?
Galactic Legend
It was just 1-0. That's not a
down.
reverse sweep.
Something cancelled Portal, be it invisible
And if you're talking about
push
if VIRTUSPRO reverse sweeping now, it's already 1-2. How's that a
potentially
reverse
even
sweep?
like a knockback from something like Cyclops, we will have to go see. But Heretics 2-1 up in this series, now on match point.
What's up, Talis?
I think a lot of people's predictions and channel points will be in peril, as we expected this to be a close series, but I don't know how many people had Heretics above VP.
True.
You'll have to
I
think
did not
about
have
that
Team
as we
Heretics above
head
VP.
into a break.
But
Don't go
I knew it was
anywhere.
gonna
Can
be a good game.
VIRTUSPRO bring it back? We'll find out after these messages.
Is it a best of 3 now? No, chat. It's a best of 5. How is no? You cannot say that I'm scamming you guys. Who, if you saw Team Heretics against VIRTUSPRO, I'm pretty sure 9 out of 10 of you guys would be voting for VIRTUSPRO to win. There is no way that you guys are going to say that I'm nah. 11. Appreciate the massive 3 months, my friend. W stream as always. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. Thank you. That's crazy. That is crazy, bro. VIRTUSPRO lost their aura a long time ago. That's not true. There's still... VIRTUSPRO is still one of the top 3 teams in EMEA. EMEA is a difficult region, yes. I don't think it is. I think there's only 3 really, really good teams in EMEA, chat. Team Heretics, VIRTUSPRO, and Navi are like the best 3 teams that that should be going to the LAN, right? And then for NA, you have NA is a clown fiesta, bro. NA has Swamp Gaming, which is really good. They have Team Liquid Citadel, which is really good, but every other team can beat any other team. It just depends on who shows up that day. I don't know. I really want to know who the 3rd team going to land is for NA, though. Jay, show us the new phone. I'm using Emily's phone. Do I look... I feel bonita. You like it? I feel very bonita. I don't know if YWL would make it, though. YWL is looking like a really good team, and they beat... who did YWL play yesterday? Sentinels, right? Oh, well, that's actually not really saying anything. I think Sentinels is fumbling the bag. Sentinels is beating themselves, bro. I don't know what they're doing. Wait, what is this?
Guang, guang. You ignite the battle. Guang, guang.
I have sent this to double check. What is this?
You ignite my life. When I see your face, you know that I'll pay for 10 more skins. 'Cause I love it when you say, hey, rivals. Guang, guang here. Hey, rivals. Guang, guang here. Guang, 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 guang.
Okay. Okay. Nice. Nice. Well, I just wanted to listen to what the song was, chat. My bad, bro. Would you guys rather have me sing? Oh shit, sorry, I'm getting a little too loud. I can't get loud, bro. I can't sing right now, bro. Emily's still sleeping. As soon as she's awake, I will be as loud as I normally am. It's just that, and I'm pretty sure a lot of guys here who are in relationships or are married, but no, I am not trying to die, and I'm not trying to sleep on the couch tonight. It's 10 a.m. though. Yeah, I think she went to bed really late because the previous night I was really loud, and no, the previous day I was really loud and I kept her up all night. Yeah. Jay, would you own a pro team? Chat. How am I gonna pay for a pro team, bro? You're literally a billionaire. If I was a millionaire or a billionaire, I'd be like Oprah, saying, you get a computer, you get a computer, you get a skin, you get a skin, we all get skins.
Heretics to be running, and they showed exactly how. Now,
I am
Team Heretics
326.
Away from
Guys, today's we passed the first. I am 326 now, 327 months left in a mortgage, chat.
Reappear on this one. Not quite Halloween yet. But Tetra, like, this felt very, like, vastly different. It felt like for VIRTUSPRO. Like, going for this map was interesting enough, but it felt that outside of just trying to deal with, like, the Human Torch beginning on their
Jay,
attack,
hire me for a pro
else
team.
felt
I could play Jeff.
not great.
Yoon, I say this in the
Yeah,
most
it started
respect
off
and
similar to
nice
the
and
previous
possible
map,
way
where
that
we
I
just
could
saw
possibly say this.
delay,
Yoon, I don't even
delay,
trust you to be
Heretics
the
just throwing bodies over
like
points and being able to buy as much time as
the
possible.
equipment
It
manager of the team,
evolved
or like the
into
water
the
boy.
timings for objectives,
I feel
the
like
ability
that would
to
be
just
still too
snipe people
hard
off
for
at
you.
the perfect opportunity. Tanuki proving he's not just a melee one trick, continuing to just throw value into every single fight. Heretics, they are looking strong, and you mentioned this is the first time that this organization could qualify for an international LAN, but a lot of these players qualified for mid-season last year
Yoon,
by beating VIRTUSPRO, and that's going to be
Yoon, I don't even know if
potentially
this is a
little
thing,
bit
but you would be
tempting
my
for
8th
VP.
string.
It's so much that they have to deal with, like, the
Water
mental
boy.
side of it. And Moxie, at least they're coming in with some, like, ideas, at least on, like, some of these maps, have been able to bring out some, like, pretty good strategies in the right places. But it's
Can
been,
you
like,
ask
maybe
Emily if
good
I could
for
be
a
the
point
flower
or
girl at
two,
your
but
wedding? I'm not a
full
girl,
map,
but I would look sick in a
the
dress.
war of attrition has been won out from Heretics. They're able to basically stall out so
Let me see
often,
the dress
the
first, and
VP
we'll think
can't
about
find the
it.
space that they need.
I mean, for me, like, this series could be done. If VP go into this next map and play the way that they did on their defensive Museum of Contemplation with very little coordination, and we saw like how uncomfortable they were when they were deprived of the Daredevil and the Cap before, but that was felt doubly so on Museum of Contemplation. So
Actually,
I think,
you know
like,
what's really
if they're
funny?
not able to totally
They're talking right
reset
now.
and bounce
I
back
think the
very
funniest
quickly,
thing, I don't know if you
there
guys
is a
seen
chance
these
that we finish off
at
this
weddings,
series
but
3-1,
usually like the
and
guys
VIRTUSPRO
turned
go for
around
a
and he's
deja
supposed to see the
vu yet
wife for the
again.
first
Not
time, and
like
you're
not
you're supposed to like
qualifying
record that
mid-season,
reaction.
but if they do
Have
want
you
to
guys ever
qualify to
seen it when
mid-season,
the guy
having to
turns
go
around
through
and it
that
happens to be
bracket
one of his
run,
other
but we know
guy
teams
friends,
like
and he's
Rad
just dressed
will
up
be
as the wife, and
waiting,
it's
then if
dude,
VIRTUSPRO,
those are the
you have
funniest
even
things
more
ever.
reason to avoid it, because Rad were the team that pushed you out of preseason early, so
Yeah.
that you only placed 6th, which was the lowest that you've placed so far. I think even if the series does go the distance and VP do manage to bounce back, cracks have been shown very early in this playoffs bracket for the teams that they meet next to be able to take advantage of, removing the Cap, removing the Daredevil, punishing the fact that in this meta you really do want to match that Gambit instant save, is meaning that while this should be, since it's dive orientated, a strong meta for VIRTUSPRO, they're not quite
Jay
able
Bari,
to lock
I don't
into
really
it.
play PlayStation, man. I
Goal
have
is
no
gonna be the
idea.
choice for VIRTUSPRO.
Jay, what are your
It's
thoughts on
also been
PlayStation
picked
going
up
all
for Team
digital in
Heretics when it beat
2028?
Best of fives. The domination was
Yeah,
the area that
I don't
VIRTUSPRO
play
won
PlayStation.
on, but this
Also, I'm not a big
feels
digital
maybe a
type
step
of guy.
beyond.
If I
Heretics
buy
might
a
have
game,
adjusted
I kind of
what they
like,
needed to after their loss
I don't know,
early
I'm
on
kind of
against
old
Chala.
school. If I buy a
See if
game,
the
I kind of want
Bears
to
have
get
it in
like
them
the
to make
hard
this a full
copy
best
of a
of
game.
5.
VIRTUSPRO choosing for the mental reset here. This is where they won on domination early. This is a map they're very comfortable on. They just need a reset on the momentum. Losing 2 in a row like that, and 2
What, Jay? No,
very
what?
difficult, long, attrition-y games.
I
It looks
like
we
the
have
I like
interest in
I like the
map. I
hard
believe
copy,
we're still
bro.
going to Koa, but the players might interest them.
Like if I
But
like all my
either
Pokemon
way,
games growing up, chat.
This has been a situation where
I'd rather
VIRTUSPRO
have
have
like
been
the
fighting
Pokemon,
tooth
and you can
nail,
resell
handling
it.
a simple domination where it's all about brawling, it's all about team fighting, it's all about just timing your ultimates correctly. It could be just what they need for the mental reset.
Yeah, but it's also the scariest of the map types because it's the most snowbally. If you lose that first fight, it has the most amount of punishment. So I don't know how I feel about them taking us to domination. Like I said, this first fight I think will tell the tale of if VP have locked back in or if they're letting these last 2 maps get to them, because we saw them play uncoordinated. We saw them like invest ultimates, and a lot of ultimates, with very little value, which then bled into what they were able to use in the next fight and led to them snowballing just very quickly.
How are you
going to
get an
control,
esports
something
jersey
which
when I'm not even on an
Heretics were
esports
able
team?
to take full advantage of. And I think for the Heretics, like, you continue using this ban draft the way that you have.
Right now, it's been working. Like you say, the second they locked in
Blue
on that
Monster?
Daredevil and that Captain America bans, it's been working. They just continue to win. And right now,
What
so
color?
far,
Not what color is the Blue Monster? What flavor is the Blue Monster?
Them here, that shows up down again. The big, bold, shaded in text. Pick Daredevil equals win. And so far, them getting it one side seems to have been working out pretty well in their favor.
I don't think it's just pick Daredevil for Heretics, and when, like I said, it's pushing VP out of being able to use
the green
Daredevil
monster's
themselves.
the best
like,
monster, hands
in
down.
the
Also,
past,
thank you,
if
chat.
this was still like the earlier patches, banning Daredevil would simply mean that Vi would swap onto Black Cat, but she has been nerfed. So you're not getting the opportunity to use that hero. You're putting Sparker on Cyclops as well, which means that sometimes you're running him on Cyclops, sometimes you're forcing Vi to have to swap onto the Star-Lord, so you can still gain the value off of being able to pair alongside that Gambit. Wolverine is
white
in the
monster
mix,
does
but as
not
we're seeing
look like
from
a good
Heretics, they're
one,
being
man.
very
Isn't the white
composed.
monster
like the
like
Vanguard
supposed to be
stuff they're
sugar-free or
picking, things
something?
like the Emma and the Groot are a lot harder for the Wolverine to challenge now that Groot has things like the large wall, which makes him immovable.
I do not like
and the Emma obviously has
sugar-free
things like the diamond
drinks,
form
bro.
as well, where she is entirely CC immune. As we do have a little bit of a lengthy pause. Something happening on the back end, and that could be good for VIRTUSPRO, right? It's giving you a lot of time
VIRTUSPRO is
to be able
losing,
to
and now there's a
readjust
lengthy pause.
and try to
Interesting,
reset.
chat. Interesting,
but
interesting.
that could also be a drawback for them if some teams prefer playing off of that momentum, and suddenly you offset that tempo totally. You're going into this next match cold. You don't want to go into a domination round cold. That means that you're not going to be playing optimally within the first fight.
It's a heavy risk to have that little bit of a delay. Sometimes you do need it. Sometimes you just want to keep going. You just want 2 in a row. Please let us keep going. Let us win. Whereas VIRTUSPRO, they now have to just cool down, reset.
Wait.
They are in, like we already mentioned, a very...
Holy shit, we're only on the second match of the day, chat, and it's been almost 4 hours.
They could be utilizing to give the mental reset as they've already won on it. We're going to bring back Ryan while we're waiting for this map to get set up. Ryan, do you have any statistics for Krakoa for the teams?
For Krakoa, we could have a look. I should have probably done this whilst I was just.
I know I threw it at you without warning.
So, like, I think the majority of these for like the actual. This is the case with a lot.
I don't know why Saipei doesn't stream without a face cam.
They haven't played as many maps as say like Team Heretics, naturally because Heretics has gone further in tournaments. So they've just
even though I do think streaming without a face cam is somewhat freeing.
Like they lost to Navi on it.
Like I could be streaming naked without a face cam, and you guys would never know.
They beat Rad and then they beat Lions without dropping a map. It's a little bit more flip-floppy for Heretics, where like they beat Raisin, they lost to Navi, they beat Shikigami, they lost to
We
Navi.
would know. How would you wouldn't know?
The best team in the world right now with Navi twice. It's almost just the fact that like it's either win 2-0 or lost 2-0, and already from what we saw Benim to Chala, I don't think it's going to be a 2-0. It could be though, because I just feel like VIRTUSPRO need to like essentially like stock up on that mental side, which is where you have to look for players.
How about
like
naked with a face cam?
You
know what would be? You know what's the sad truth?
Player of the Year nomination in like
if you streamed naked with a face cam, you probably get a 3-day ban. But if you drive and almost try to like cause a crash or an accident or even fucking almost like seriously injure someone, you only get a day ban.
How that could certainly bite them in the backside for these like elimination games tomorrow, because it is only a
think about that. That's so messed up.
Yeah, it's not a lot of time. Like I said, the vulnerability here that has been exposed from Heretics' ban draft is more problematic to VIRTUSPRO, which will now add on even more pressure, because if they do go down to the lower bracket, I guarantee you that the team that they run into will copy Heretics' ban draft. They'll just be like, oh, okay, well, Heretics played nothing really out of the ordinary. It's just that they took away the cap and the Daredevil, which we don't always see as a default ban in the draft. The only thing that they're doing different is taking away options from VP, which are showing to be very problematic for VP to have to deal with. And
what's up,
like
homeless
said,
J5? I'm homeless J3. How you doing?
In terms of turnaround, VP, even if they win this, they will go back, they will look at VODs, they will scrim, they will block, and they will try to work out how exactly can we get out of this corner that we've boxed ourselves into.
I never heard of that
by
Firebug,
showing how
but that's
tied
also
we are
kick,
to
and
the
I
cap
really
and
am
the
not
Daredevil.
surprised.
It's really an uncomfortable pause, I'd say, for both of these teams, because VIRTUSPRO, like, whether it should be like pretty quick in, I think it was just the wrong selection in the tournament client, so shouldn't be too long of a wait. But like, I'm nervous for VIRTUSPRO, so Lord knows how they're feeling, especially because it's like if they end up turning this around, they know what we're going to be asking, right? Even like going into tomorrow, they would have to play twice. They would have to play I think trying to do the bracket in my head. They would have to play like the winner of like Rad.
Why are they paused? I have
Strays,
no idea. I'm pretty sure they might tell you. J3 feet
so
picks for sale.
I
appreciate the massive 5 months.
This is the second best of 5 out of 4, and then you've got Americans playing later. You've got to play that game and then play the other winner of the best of 5 a little bit later on in the day, right at the end of the day. And we've seen some teams look absolutely amazing in that first best of 5, despite going to maybe 5 maps, and just falling apart on that like second game later because it's exhausting and you just run out of steam completely.
Yeah, and there's a match in between as well, right? So you have to like warm up all over again. Like a lot of these teams, they basically 30 minutes, sometimes even an hour before you go into these tournament matches, you have a team that you agree to be your warm-up partner, and you have essentially a mini scrim with them so that you're coming in feeling hot.
Bro, I opened up Twitter.
No, that's not.
I opened up Twitter. Hold on, I want to see this real quick.
Not real. There's no way. Can you make him post that? That's not real. There is no way that's real.
Bro, dude, notice how he doesn't have a hammer in his hand because the fucking hammer is somewhere else. Bro, there's no way.
Wait, it might be real. What the fuck? What emote is this? Oh my god, look at it move! God damn! That's not real. There's no way. Can you make him post that?
I don't want to skip
usually warm up against teams
against them.
Pushed out. Like usually what you do is you wait for teams like to be knocked out, and it actually becomes easier to secure warm-up scrims as tournaments progress because you have more options to choose from when those teams get pushed out. Like some teams, when you warm up, they like going up against teams that are on their level because it pushes them to be good. Other teams who are like very momentum based want to have confidence headed into their matches. Go for teams slightly like lower down, so potentially even you're like warming up with MLC teams so that you can just sort of run through them and concentrate on being able to feel happy.
Okay, chat, I gotta go to the bathroom real quick since this what do you call it?
Well, poorly, sometimes you're tilted, you're working out like, was it something that we did wrong? Is there something that we now have to fix? And overthinking can sometimes overcomplicate the issue and lead to you having a pretty rough showing in those domination rounds.
I'm really wondering how this is going to go at this point. I think it's a little bit more of just like a rehost. I think there's some deliberation from the tournament team. Like my speculation, this is pure speculation, is just that maybe Krakow was the initial option and they went, wait, no, let's go for something else. And now it's like, do we let them change or whatever? I don't know. Completely pulling that out my ass, to be honest, but it does mean that there is a bit more time for these teams to sort of work, and we get to see a little bit more as I think we are finally going into the map as things are being ironed out. VIRTUSPRO, I imagine, still going towards the Krakoa pick, and they are.
Thank you for joining us once again, Ryan. As we are back here, it is still Krakoa, and the teams are now into the draft. And so far, this looks familiar, but here's where it kept flipping for Heretics. But this time, VIRTUSPRO mirror them, taking out the Daredevil as well.
Do they save the cap? That would be the difference. Yeah. There we go. They save the cap. That does mean that Heretics can now like choose to target out the Luna, which was previously what VP were using that second save slot for. So that Heretics can guarantee get one-sided Luna Snow if they so choose. As they'll take out the Star-Lord, so VIRTUSPRO keep the cap this time, but lose access to Peter Quill with that Galactic Legend, with the iframes, and with the ability to go win out the Gambit matchup if the ults do go head-to-head.
Cap will be mirrored, so the teams can both take this. This means double ult charge available for Team Heretics, with both the Gambit Rage Brawl Flush and the Captain America Freedom Charge, both giving a little bit of ult charge. And yeah, the bans are still mirrored, just in a different order this time. So we're still going to see the exact same potential here. But overall, there's still a lot of options outside of the Star-Lord that are going to work quite well with the Gambit if the teams choose to go that way. But the Captain America opens up the possibility, you mentioned it in the first series, of double dive. Venom and Cap potentially bullying for both sides.
Yeah, but Heretics, like, here could go for counter dive, which is what they did earlier on Burn and T'Challa. What I would really like to see from Heretics, actually, is roll out on counter dive, be it the White Fox Luna Luna, or run a triple strategist with the Gambit, the Adam, and the Loki that you did previously to be able to absorb that dive, win out the first fight, glean as much point percentage as you can by having one-sided soul bond to overwhelmingly win out that first fight. And once you lose a fight, once you've used Karmic Revival, swap off the triple strategist composition and go for the heavier counter dive composition of the Luna and the White Fox.
Love to see if that's the way they run for now. Just starting off with the rocket for a little bit of pre-armor is something that we'll see from Heretics, not from VIRTUSPRO. They're choosing to just run out with standard health pulls, not with that little bit of extra bonus health. And Ken is going to be staying on that rocket, so it's a revive potential here. Not that Lunar Snow for that extra heal onto any diving characters like the Psylocke here. Tanuki will be on the Wolverine again, so we do have the potential of
sorry, I was in the bathroom.
to come in with the jump pack rocket.
Also, Emily's
VP
still
can
asleep,
go
so.
scout out where exactly the BRB will be with Sparker and Finzi's presence, though, to try to break it. Heretics could also just lose access to it if Ken is the one to fall first. So there's opportunity here for VIRTUSPRO, but getting the lockdown on this rocket is much easier said than done. As the Heretics having more anchor presence by running that mag, going to make a play for the point at
Broccoli
the
with the
same
massive
time.
get this up to
Nevix trying to
J3's
hold
fat
them off.
juicy
So
dumb truck.
no easy first cap, a very much slow burn of a first fight. The Cyclops is called in to peel his back line.
What the heck?
Sparker looking for the wraparound.
Jay, do you vape? No,
A lot of
I don't
damage coming
vape.
in onto Enzo on that Magneto.
Oh my god, Broccoli, you need to chill, bro. I appreciate the massive gifted sub, bro.
Positioning is taken by VIRTUSPRO, but Heretics are the ones who push up, but it's gonna punish them as Naga. It doesn't matter how good your healing is if you're gone before anyone can even cast an ability. Saipe will fall on the mirror, Naga returns, Sparker goes down, and Heretics, despite losing the first person in that fight, get the flip and chase VP off the point.
Yeah, that's more valuable for Heretics, right? Yes, you sacrifice one person, or rather, you sacrifice first cap, but you get the actual elimination, which sticks on VP.
So did they tell you guys why the pause was,
you've got BRB to bring them back, and now,
did they tell you guys what the pause was for?
You pick up and surpass that. So in this next fight, you're sitting at around about 25%. You have the Gambit ult to be able to match Saipe's. You can even use yours now to go first, as Nevix, because of this Wolverine, is forced to go onto Fing.
Sparker on the Elsa, making that character look like she was never nerfed at all. It's been playing it a couple times throughout the thing to try and remove that mobility.
How do you reload a gun with one hand? Has anyone ever realized that? How does Elsa reload a gun by just spinning it?
No one on VIRTUSPRO falls. I mean, the entire engage from Heretics is shut down, but they still have access to Cosmic Guard Amplifier if Ken can make it back to the fight. But at this point, this looks like a slow fight, forcing them back into the choke point, where hopefully they'll be able to regroup up and make their way in, but not with Wolverine. The Battle Reaper pick, never mind, will bring them back into the fight, but they're still incredibly staggered. That's just a convincing VP fight.
Yeah, I mean, Sparker has been such a difference maker in that last fight, able to take Ken out early so the eliminations actually stick once VP start pulling away with them. Heretics, though, coming into this next one, 4 ultimates available, but VP have 2 defensives, both the Freedom Charge and the Fate of Both Worlds, which can also be used defensively to buoy up the damage from Fi's Ruby Rage. Nevix has Clobbering Time. Heretics don't have a good response to it. Beetle starts things off with the Freedom Charge to run the team forward, but Finzi has the replication.
Ken staying far away from the danger, just keeping everyone topped up, and Alex is going to get stunned out. Last stand from Tanuki, looking for the turnaround, but Alex will be the first to fall. Nevix is doing so much work. Cosmic Guard Amplifier is going to come on out. Fire with the Ruby Rage to wipe it off the board here. Tanuki will fall, and VIRTUSPRO hold full control here. Apex Predator for the final chase down, and now it's just all about trying to stagger out Beetle, which they will potentially be able to do so with the incredible
poor guy couldn't
mobility
live,
that Elsa
man.
offers.
Poor guy.
Yeah, VP will be able to build up Gambit ult ahead of time from Heretics too.
It's a living weapon?
We are seeing swaps. Alex now actually moving on to the White
That doesn't mean the
Fox,
living weapon
having
reloads
more
itself,
time to
chat.
more CC to be able to react to VP trying to push into that backline. Thinks better of it actually, goes for the Luna instead. So you have Snowflake to be able to attach as Tanuki goes on to the Elsa to be able to match the damage output from Sparker. But what you have to have in this fight, Tetcher, is match on Saipe. And because you've swapped your Gambit player, you've reset that ult charge. Saipe has unmatched Gambit ult in OT.
Overtime already started to tick down. Sparker takes a chunk of damage, but tanks on through, and here it comes! Raging Royal Flush for the immediate dive, and Enzo wants none of the smoke. Trying to back away, just trusting Beetle to buy as much time as possible, but absolutely not! Saipe chases them down and sets up the kill, chasing them all the way off the point. And that is going to be the first point of Krakoa, the Grove, going over to VIRTUSPRO. They are 1 point away from evening up that map score.
Okay, it's not a surprise that Heretics lose that last fight. In fact, what is a larger surprise is that VP actually commits Saipe's ult. Because if you're Heretics, that's actually huge value. You're going into that one-sided Gambit ult. Everyone having to like swap, you don't have a full regroup, you're having to try and siphon your players' positions onto the point. You're accepting that you're losing that one. What you're trying to take from VP is ults for them to be able to open up aggressively instantly before you've had the opportunity of building your own ultimates in the first fight of second round. So by the fact that VP actually invested Saipe's ult to guarantee hold that point down, Heretics have thrown an absolute lifeline.
They have the opportunity now to try and retake this, but looking at the statistics, Sparker had 6 final hits. That is 2 more than the entirety of Heretics put together because of those blow-up team fights. That is going to be a portal coming out with a Captain America shield set up in case of interrupt from across the map somehow. But it looks like they've chosen the target. It's time to bully as they make their way through the portal to attempt the blow-up. But they're not going to find it. It's going to be a good disengage from Naga, who will not get caught out.
Yeah, Luna just has so much speed. The turn instead is onto Enzo to pull
cheer
that shield
for? I just
very
want a good
early
game,
on
bro.
as VP splitting off Heretics'
I don't want
vanguard,
to see a 3-0.
very much
Yesterday
wanting
was
to
all
push
3-0.
any stall presence on that point so they can pick it up nice and early as they've scouted Heretics, swapping to the triple strategist, going to have much more counter dive potential, and they don't want to go for the backline. The backline's equipped to deal with them. Instead, they'll go for the vanguards when the backline's occupied.
Both their backline is taken out, though, with Dridder and Saipe taken out. Alex is picked off in the mirror, but that still means that Ken is on the board, keeping the team topped up. Down goes Fi. Nevix, the only person left touching this objective, as Tanuki finishes off reinforcements that were looking to try and assist. That's going to be Heretics taking the first fight, and what they didn't have to use is a single
Is it the same Nevix as the Overwatch 1
and now
Pro?
you have
Yes,
so many
chat.
ults
Virtus
to
Pro is
open
like a
up
lot of
aggressively
Overwatch
into
players.
this next one. VP, without that Daredevil, not going to have any information on where Heretics will be hitting them from. Beetle will make it hurt on main. Freedom Chargers running right at VIRTUSPRO so that there's no damage that VP's team can do to be able to build closer to things like that Gambit or the Ruby Rage from Fi. Both Fi and Spark are denied any opportunity of picking someone off early with Poke, so Heretics bleed out more point %.
Venom comes in with a Feast from the Abyss, looking to see if they can get a set up. An immediate assist from Ken to try and get a finishing blow, but it's going to be the Freedom Charge from Fincy to try and keep VP on this push going. The Kumiho comes on out, Glartrox comes on out, and Alex is removed from the Kumiho and absolutely deleted here. Tanuki's going to look for a turnaround to try and get a dance to the butterfly through this. They take out 5, but the fate of both worlds will keep VIRTUSPRO sustaining through this. Naga will mirror here, meaning the last ultimate in this fight is going to be Saipe with the Rage and Roll Flush, and Ken with the It's Jeff, but Ken holds onto it for as long as possible, looking to potentially either remove some people from the board, but also get a big chunk of healing output onto the board, and it's just going to be a defensive ultimate. Ken wants to make sure they're in a safe position. The flip does go over to VIRTUSPRO, and Ken is finished off on the high ground. Heretics, they used everything there, and VP still came out ahead.
Oh, Heretics though. Alex is swapping onto Adam. I mean, that fight went so long, VP had to use pretty much everything. You'll have the Ruby Rage from Vi built up in this next fight, but Heretics can withstand the damage off of the Soul Bond from Alex. They'll also have symbiotic shenanigans from Ken, so if we go into a neutral fight, this actually benefits Heretics' dive.
They now have the opportunity to build up those ultimates as best as they can. Right now, it's just piling on some pressure. They actually get a pickup in the neutral. Alex onto the Adam and immediately finds a pickup, but Beetle goes down in exchange, meaning that Fire is just one step closer to that Ruby Rage to keep the pressure onto the board. Right now, it's all about flanking and looking for openings.
Heretics trying to control those off angles. Great freeze onto Finzy. Totally locks his position down, but Tanuki unable to follow up with the elimination. It does keep the cap off of his backline, but you've since lost Enzo. So Heretics not having that engagement that they've been looking for, but that could be it. Ken gets the pickup onto Fi, so no Ruby Rage to hold Heretics off from getting aggressive. Beetle with the Freedom Charge. If Heretics really want to go for this flip fight, they have the means to be able to stand up to the Gambit ult from VP, and Saipe falls. He invests the Raging Roll Flush, but VIRTUSPRO aren't able to find value from it and have to double down. Judro now using Fatal Force to stall out for VP, trying to keep this fight in play, but the moment that Luna ult falls silent, Tanuki's ready to set the dance music going.
The fish is down though, but Tanuki sets up to make it a 2 for 2. Alex goes down, but they can cocoon back into this fight. Ultimate-wise, they're at 97%. Naga is getting closer with that Fate of Both Worlds, but Tanuki is finding isolated members, picks off Saipei on the re-engage. Nevix goes down.
So if VIRTUSPRO wins this, chat, we do go to a match 5, bro, which is our first match 5 of all the playoffs.
Flip this round. Fi's already on Strange. Portal's already open. They decide to go for the high ground to take the aggressive position, looking for the wraparound, trying to take out Alex. They really want that Adam. They know the cocoon's gone, and they get him.
They get him. No Soulbond, no Karmic Revival in this fight. Sparker given the green light to go for Dance of the Butterflies before Fate of Both Worlds can turn Heretics' fate. Gets the pickup onto the Luna. Job done. Cancels the ult early so he can regroup with his team and start putting the pressure onto Heretics' players, looking to regroup on the backline. But Alex is back. He brings the Luna back in, and so too returns the threat of Fate of Both Worlds to stabilize Heretics' position.
And here it comes. They've also got the It's Jeff that will come up at the end.
Wait, Team Heretics actually might take this. VIRTUSPRO doesn't have anything.
That removes a huge threat from VIRTUSPRO, but with Tanuki down, that's so much of the damage of Heretics off board.
Nice freeze. Oh, poor Naga.
Goes down. It's Jeff looking to just get onto the board, get the healing output.
Wait,
the fish is punched. Ken is taken down, and once again, it's up to Beetle.
Dude, Team Heretics has all the ults, and they're like throwing.
Allowing the strategist to re-engage. Tanuki's almost up to a Dance of the Butterfly, but Saipei just needs to hold, just needs to survive. But if there's no one alive to get a Raging Roar Flush, did it really happen? As VIRTUSPRO are taken off the board, overtime goes down, and Heretics even us up. They are one point away from going to mid-season finals.
Yeah, but VIRTUSPRO hold the Gambit ult. They weigh up their options. Dance of Butterflies, it's like so hectic in the fight. VP's position so split apart as well. Saipei, likely if he panics and uses the Gambit ult instantly, will not connect to the full team, potentially even does not save them from Dance of the Butterflies. You lose the fight, you lose the Gambit ult, you can't use it in the first fight of this next round. So VP, very much like Heretics, gracefully accepting their defeat to be better set up for this first fight on second round.
The Adam has been abandoned. We're back to double strategist. We're going for the Zootopia backline, the Rocket Raccoon and the Jeff the Land Shark.
Zootopia backline.
Been used to make way for the Wolverine to make a return. Naga moves over to the Cyclops.
I don't think you keep the Rocket here.
The Hulk. I think that's just for armor to set up, and there we go.
Yeah.
There's Gambit.
It's for armor and to also give the jump pack to your Wolverine. There's no way that you run out on just Rocket Jeff, because it's so easy for Finzi and Sparker to detach from the main fight and go lock you down. You will keep the Rocket, but you will run the Gambit alongside it so that you can try to match Saipei, but you don't have match for this
That is crazy, bro. That is crazy. Oh my god, dude, these Wolverine players, man. These Wolverine players are absolutely just vile. It makes me really want to learn Wolverine.
Here comes that Raging Roar Flush as Nevix moves over to the thing to make their way back onto the point. Priest from the Abyss. Beetle drops into banner form. Ken taken out of the backline. And Heretics, they get the first pickup, but everything else is collapsing.
He missed the health pack. He missed the health pack.
VIRTUSPRO chased them down. Fight is barely standing, but barely standing isn't enough. Tanuki takes them down, but VP get the point.
Yeah, VP get the point. Will
Jay
be
on
able
melee?
to hold
My
it.
melee is
Trigger has
insanely
Luna
good.
ult,
What are you guys
Finzi
talking about, bro?
well, so plenty of
There
scope
actually
potential as
are
now
legends
Heretics will
about how
return
good my
back to
melee
that
is.
Adam. No more Rocket. You've got Jeff and Luna to go alongside that Venom with the team up of symbiotic shenanigans. Tanuki off of the Wolverine onto the Psylocke, wanting to put more pressure on VP's back line. What we have here is trades. Both of these teams wanting to take the charge just out early, but VP still have poke available from Fi to find picks from distance.
Freedom Charge going to be coming on in. There's no ultimates to match it here for Heretics. Now it's just all about how many people go down. The answer is several. As we immediately lose Adam, Venom, and Psylocke. Alex comes back just to go down again.
Sparker's Psylocke is crazy. But I think Wait, they got off.
Are in a dominant position here.
They got off the Wolverine.
Finishing off people, and Heretics get another swap here, bringing out the White Fox.
I mean, you were
they're
going the
running
Adam, so you could try to
White
choose
Fox,
the ultimate
Jeff,
economy. You would
Luna.
not be
They're
able
running
to
triple
defend
support.
Stratusol into Sparker's Dance of the Butterflies in time, so you try and stack with Soul Bond, but Finzi accompanies, and VP with that duet just totally take Heretics down with a tango of damages. Now we get the Foxtrot from Alex, but VIRTUSPRO, they don't actually have to go for the dive. They can avoid the White Fox entirely, put pressure on the Gambit instead, as we do see Heretics is trying to walk point, because this is final fight territory here, Tetcha.
Yeah.
Sparker having to win at the 1v1 versus Tanuki, who falls so low, he has to regroup back with the rest of his team, but that means that Psylocke gets the opportunity to jump with Cap.
Alex able to get away with the dash with the mobility. Dridro with the fate of both worlds to make sure they can hold the point. Ruby Rage, if they can take out Naga, they do! That was the only strategist holding them up. Now it's just Ken. If he can stay up, they have it. It's Jeff, but who's there to receive it? If Jeff comes on out with a dozen of butterflies to the backline to try and take down someone.
Wow, good patty kicking from both of those supports.
Nothing, and we're back to Freedom Charge delay again, as Beetle throws the team on his back and goes for a run to try and buy some time. Portal comes on out from Naga for the reinforce. All strategist ultimates have been utilized from VP, but Saipe builds up the raging Royal Flush, and what's there to resist it? Kumiho comes on out from Alex and is melted to bits, taken down. Spark against Tanuki, gets Enzo, gets Naga.
Yep, we're going to a match 5, chat.
Enzo's the last one surviving, and he's nowhere near the point. VP are taking us to map 5.
We are going to a map 5, bro.
VP rewrite their destiny.
Wow.
We go the distance between these two teams with a spot and ticket to mid-season on the line. Who comes out on top? It's too close to call.
I mean, both they're making it seem both teams can still make it to the land, chat. I mean, whoever goes to the lower bracket is just gonna have to win all the lower bracket games. But that is actually crazy. This is a really good series. This is the best series of the playoffs so far. The first match 5 of the playoffs so far as well. Ooh. Who do you guys think is going to win? Team Heretics. I will say I know VIRTUSPRO is like the second best team, and Team Heretics is like the third best team, but I didn't know it was this close. I didn't know it was actually this close. And no, I don't think 100 Thieves and STD went to it. Did they actually go to a match 5? I don't know. I think I was delusional at that point. But 28% if Team Heretics wins. Oh yeah, they did go to a match 5. I do remember that. I was drifting in and out of consciousness, chat. Yeah. Tomorrow, by the way, just as a heads up, we're starting at 7 a.m. again. Because apparently it's 3 days in a row at 7 a.m. Yeah. Remember the 100 Thieves shield? Yeah, and I remember they were trying to aura form with the shield. Oh, man. What time is Sunday? Sunday starts at 11 a.m. So there's actually a little bit more extra sleep time, but yeah. How you doing, Tired Salmon? Match 5. This is probably going to be better than the actual final. True. Are you going to play any matches today? Probably between NA and EMEA, yes. Because yesterday we had like 3 hours of playing ranked and stuff. I don't know if I'm going to be able to play ranked. I'm too tired. I think I just might run it down in quick play and just ruin some people's days. Yeah. Why are we whispering? Because Emily is sleeping, chat, and I don't want to wake up Emily. She went to bed very late last night. Or, hear me out. I could try to go take a nap and Emily could take over the stream and play custom games with you guys. What are you guys' thoughts? And then I could sleep. Okay, let me help educate a little bit of people here as well. I know you love the game, but is NetEase paying you to do these watch streams? No. And if I was doing a watch party that NetEase is paying for, I would have to have hashtag ad in my stream title because I would be doing an ad and I don't want to get in trouble by the, what is it, FTC? And there you guys go. I hope I gave you guys a little educated. I hope I got you guys a little educated. Is it the FTC? Yeah, it's the FTC, right? FCC? Is it FCC or FTC? Is it no, so it is the FTC, yeah. No, so it's not the FCC. FCC. No, that sounds weird. It's the FTC. FTC, FBI, FTC, CIA, XQC. It's one of them. FML. No, it's one of them. You have to disclose basically if you are sponsored for something, chat. If you don't disclose that you are sponsored and you're getting paid for something, you could get very, very, very in trouble. It is the FCC? Is it the FCC? I was literally just gonna say, what is that Eminem song? It says the FCC won't bother me or something. You know what I'm saying? So it's the FCC. No, it's the FTC. Is it the FTC or FCC? So the FCC regulates communications and broadcasting and the broadcasting industry, while the FTC enforces the broad consumer protection and antitrust laws across all sectors. So FCC primary scope is telecommunications, cable, satellite, wire, radio, and electromagnetic spectrum. The FTC
it always goes the
is the general consumer protection and antitrust enforcement across the entire U.S. economy. The most shocking thing
about it is that VIRTUSPRO, in Ignite at the very least, have never beaten this team Heretics, Berber, Pats, Bim, Citadel Gaming in a best of 5. And in the most key tournament that we keep highlighting for VP, where they were eliminated from mid-season last year, it was against that team twice in a best of 5, losing on this final map. It's nice that it's gone the distance, as myself, Tetcha, and Moxie are highlighting this action. Maybe there's a chance for VIRTUSPRO to recreate some history to sort of break the trend that has been formed.
Ajibullah with the massive 2 months. Appreciate it. It's one of the two, chat. FCC, FTC,
is pretty much
XQC, RPG.
I mean, the VIRTUSPRO, I feel like it'll be deja vu draft-wise. Like, second save on cap, that was it. Like, that was the secret for them being able to bounce back into the series. Like, so many fights
BBC,
in the past.
Gotta throw in the British Baking Company.
Like, oh yeah, VP would be able to stabilize if they have Freedom Charge, or they would have an extra fight if they were able to get Finzi on cap to stall out the objective, even if they lost the fight, to be able to guarantee that they can regroup for a next one. And that was exactly what VP were fully able to take advantage of. Heretics banned out the Daredevil, but VP mixed things up, saved the cap, and saved the series.
You think there's a chance here is like
more
at this,
SBK
Finzi,
for 2 months.
MVP,
Appreciate it.
Getting a Captain America. Tetra, do you think there's almost an argument instead of going for that third ban on Daredevil, which would completely unlock
Finzi got MVP,
instead, because it felt
really?
that this was the thing that was missing for VP. Soon as the captain himself was on it, it was a whole different story.
That's a tough argument because they're both so valuable in different
Damn,
ways.
that was a really close game, but look at the stats difference.
Protection because he has essentially a strategist ultimate that not only
Sparker went 39-5 and with 21 finals, but they almost lost to people who were going 13-9 and 14-12.
So the cap has a huge amount of value as a sort of frontline spearhead for a lot of these fights, while also protecting the backline. Compare that to the Daredevil, they are going to be the big explosion character who can really take out people in the backline, but also gathers information. And on some maps in particular, that can be so huge, especially on like some convergence and convoy maps where there's some great positions where you can scout out approaches for your opponents. Both of them give value. So I guess it's the question of, Heretics have been winning a lot with delays. Do they think they could still do that if they're being scouted by a Daredevil? If not,
wouldn't Team Heretics win?
Which could allow VIRTUSPRO to keep with Captain America. If you think you could deal
what's
with it,
what's the last game mode that we didn't play, chat? We played King of the Hill, Convergence,
a lot of mitigation, good moments for Beetle on Captain America.
Convoy.
Made it work on his side too, as it was another.
And then we played and then we played King of the Hill again.
Map, it has to either be Convergence or Convoy.
There you go. I was just gonna say it has to be either a Convergence or a Convoy.
It could be any of the four. That
If you're looking at this,
yes.
VIRTUSPRO are the only two. Their only two wins come on domination.
Other than just the fact that history keeps repeating itself.
Team Heretics won on the other two game modes, so that means Team Heretics wins.
Convoy dive to come through, which means that
Team
if
Heretics
we do
wins.
see like VP try to go for that dive, then there's a good chance that Heretics will be able to stop it as we head directly into our draft, and this should be speeding along. I think the big thing that we're all going to be looking at is, do Heretics prioritize keeping that Daredevil out
To be
of
honest with
VP's
you, I
hands,
feel like a
or
lot of
do
these
they go for
esport
the
games
cap? This would be
need
the
to stop
moment that
doing
they
best
would
of
go
fives
for it.
and just for the last
And they go for
round,
Daredevil
instead of playing another
again,
map,
which means that
they get
VP will
two
likely
players,
get that
whatever
save
team
into
the
cap
players
here.
want to,
That
use,
would not
and they
surprise me here.
1v1
Captain
each
America
other.
returns one more
But
time. VP,
mud
it
wrestling.
works for them every
Chat
time
thoughts?
They've got that cap. It's been making
For the
a
win.
big difference. They've been showing the power of it here, and it's an important map for them. Moxie, you mentioned just how good it is against anti-dive, but also this is just an aura pick for Heretics because when VP did not go to mid-season finals last year, Map 5 versus Berber Patapim was on Midtown. They lost
Mud
in the subway
wrestling is
basement
boring?
right before Fisk building.
Yeah,
meaning
you
the
actually
Heretics
don't know
looking
anything
to
about
try
fun.
and
You
not
sound
make history
boring.
repeat itself, as this would just knock VP down to the lower bracket, but at least get an aura win.
Yeah, psychic damage. I
Yes,
guess
exactly.
there's a new team up that has been
When
added
are you
to
playing
Marvel
MRI?
Rivals.
I don't play
We
MRI,
won't be
but
seeing it in play. It's not associated
oh
with
my
any
god,
specific
have you guys ever seen those like they're like the
very much looking
Asian
to hit
shows?
VP where it
One of them
hurts,
was
as they go for
they
the
were trying to
save onto
climb
the
up these
Cyclops, which then
stairs, but
forces
they had
VP
like
to have to ban
was like
out the Wolverine in turn.
it was like
I will say the series
gonna
going
sound
the
like,
distance. Heretics did look the stronger
Diddy's house, but
of
they
these
had
two
like
teams
baby
on
oil all over
Convoy
the stairs, and they were
earlier
trying to
when we had Museum
like
of
climb
Contemplation, and
the
they
stairs,
were
and
also
whoever
able
reached the
to
top
utilize
wins, but everyone was
strategies
just
of triple
sliding off.
strategist
Oh my god, that
Adam,
shit's so funny.
Loki, Invis to totally burn VP's time bank when we were in the streets phase of Lower Manhattan. So
Bro,
I think
those
there are issues
Asian
that
game
VP
shows are
will run
funny
into.
as shit,
Here are
chat.
lineups that we know Heretics will
The
be
Japanese
relying
game
on,
shows,
at least
yeah.
for the first third of this map, that VIRTUSPRO will have to navigate past very quickly unless they want to lose all of that time bank available.
This is it. Winner moves on to that upper bracket finals to play against Na'Vi for a spot in the grand finals, but more importantly, qualifies for mid-season finals. The loser goes down to that lower bracket and will have to fight.
Now we know what Jay
their
watches on
spot
the other
in
monitor.
order to
Bro,
make
there's a lot of other people in here that are saying the Japanese game
event.
shows are fucking
Heretics
awesome.
starting on attack.
You guys
They're
are
starting
judging me.
Pretty standard here. They've got the rocket,
Japanese-
they've got
the
Gambit,
Japanese game
they've
shows
got
are fucking
Star-Lord
amazing.
and a Cyclops.
They're funny
They are
as
ready
shit.
as VP, sticking standard.
Have you considered them going
no
on one of those
heavy
streamer
Vanguard
game
defenses
shows?
with any
No.
hit.
Yeah, no changes to their composition, right? This will be the comp that they keep as default for the majority of this map, so no resetting ult economy, and also nothing that
There's a lot of things on the internet that you guys have to see, man. Did you guys know that there is in-car wrestling where you both are buckled up in a car and you have to try to wrestle each other? Bro, that shit is it's crazy.
Onto that objective and hold it long enough for VP to give Fi and Sparker a lot of downtime to be able to try and pick up these early eliminations to force Heretics back.
Oh.
He's playing very aggressive, up and down, always checking every flank angle, and putting a lot of pressure onto Fincy and onto Nevix. Nevix already forced to back up, and that means Fincy. They make their way to the point, up to the high ground, and will back away back to the rest of their team. But in the meantime, Beetle, who got that Captain America thanks to that ban on Tanuki's Wolverine, is also able to make their way in and put some pressure on as well. Both these teams fighting for every inch here. Fi will return after getting taken down here. VIRTUSPRO, they're losing distance, but very slowly.
And they're gaining ult charge very quickly in comparison to Alex as well. Saipe is hurtling towards that first Gambit ult.
Already charged up, and immediately the trigger will be pulled, which is just in time to save Nevix with a little bit of bonus healing and allow them to re-engage. Sparker pulls the trigger, and once again, Elsa Bloodstone is their bread and butter here, able to take one down.
Oh,
the rocket goes down. The revive does come in. Naga, not in the safest position, but is ready for a potential flank.
Yeah, potentially unscouted by VIRTUSPRO as well.
He was walking.
So Cyclops could be very problematic, especially because Heretics will be able to forge forward with a Gambit ult of their own. Nope, he rejoins the rest of his team pushing from main, benefiting from that Gambit ult to push VP back. Tripro though safeguards the disengage. Fate of both worlds called in, Enzo called in to try and one-shot it.
Meteor set down onto Nevix to try and take out the front line here as everyone else was covered by the terrain.
You can still throw it at someone.
Alex with that burst damage the Gambit offers so effectively, and it's going to be a nice slow fight after the ultimate expires, but it's more than enough for Team Heretics to take that fight, meaning a portal will be forced by VP.
Yeah, Dridro onto the Loki. No Luna ult for VP to stabilize. You're hoping to hold on long enough for Finzy to hit that freedom charge, but Heretics have sustain and then some. They've got freedom charge and Cosmic Gun Amplifier to boost up Tanuki's ult.
Gambit, and it's very strong. People don't want to play against it.
Cosmic Gun Amplifier, exactly as Moxie called, looking to try and just burst on through, but the freedom charge is keeping everyone topped up beautifully here for VP.
You literally cannot kill Rogue when she has the team up.
With their freedom charge, is going to be able to extend that fight a little bit longer. Here comes the Glartrox though. You can't sustain through that, forcing them off the point. Not enough for a finishing blow, but it does give space. It gives an opportunity for VP to try and push in, but the backline is getting destroyed here as Tanuki chases down the cap. It is going to be VIRTUSPRO holding the position, but bodies are being traded back and forth for these teams.
Saipe is still up in this fight as well. He's about to hit Gambit ult, which might allow the Vanguards to be able to stabilize. Fire wiped away, but VP still present, so no free pickup from Heretics just yet, and there we go. Gambit ult from Saipe's side invested. Heretics having to pull back, respect the one-sided strategist, they'll look to disengage and come back with their own, but they lose Ken, they lose Beetle. That is not a disengage, that's a fight lost.
This is really bad for Team Heretics, chat. They gotta get their shit together.
Was Heretics investing Portal?
VIRTUSPRO is only winning the games on King of the Hill,
no Portal anymore,
but they're showing to be really strong on this map.
It's not going to reach the objective fast, but they know they have enough time to at least touch. Battle Reaper B can place on high ground so that they can get someone back in the fight. But Dridro is going in for the Gambit.
Oh, they have to go fast. They have to go fast. They have to get a kill.
God of Mischief, trying to take people off the board as fast as possible.
Get a killer, build an ult. Get a killer, build an ult.
Naga with the Ruby Rage takes down 2, make it 3, and VIRTUSPRO.
Chat, they didn't get a kill or build an ult. They let Team Heretics build an ult first.
It looks like an impossible push. Are able to take it.
Yeah, Alex had the match for Dridro. No eliminations from VP, hounding forward, trying to take the fight against Heretics when they were split. Some players rotating from high ground, some going point to guarantee that OT starts burning through. They're just not able to find those eliminations.
I don't think that was a bad Gambit ult. The only ult that they had was a Gambit ult, chat. They used the Gambit ult so they can go into try to be aggressive into Team Heretics, because Team Heretics has to run forward to touch the point, so they're trying to prevent it.
To take away from Heretics' space.
Putting on the pressure piece for the Abyss from Nevix for a little bit of defense here. 5 will be taken out the other side, though, as is Dridro. And again, Team Heretics with the Cosmic Yard Amplifier alone this time are taking down VIRTUSPRO one
Chat,
by
the Loki
one.
copied the Gambit. It's still a Gambit ult, bro. It's not a Loki ult.
And will survive.
The Loki copies the Gambit ult.
They do keep the lead on the Raging Royal Flush ahead of Alex, who's only at 49%.
The difference, though, is that Heretics, they're ready to take these fights. VIRTUSPRO, they have to build up to ultimates. Sparker actually moves onto the silo, trying to catch onto that backline split away from main, but you've already lost Saipe. You're not closing up to that Raging Royal Flush. You have to rely on Finzi's Freedom Charge, keeping the team topped up instead. Enzo holding the space with Meteor M. No one from VP wanting to try to stick their heads out to contest it.
Mr. Streamer, you don't understand Loki is in Gambit? Chat.
And with Galactic Legend and no Freedom Charge for VIRTUSPRO to hold their ground to stop it, this should be point picked up unless Saipe can hold on.
You guys are pissing me off.
Nevix delays Symbiotic Resilience for as much time as they can. Raging Royal Flush comes on out. They're still looking to contest this, to make their way onto the point of VP with bodies just sent on it. They take out Naga, Dance of the Butterflies. They wipe the vanguards of Team Heretics, taking out Beetle and chasing down the rest. And VIRTUSPRO, that looked done, but they find the gap.
That had to be invested as well at the tail end of the fight. You don't use Dance of the Butterflies, Heretics disengage your Gambit ult, come back with Alex's
I still feel like Team Heretics
by
should...
using Dance of the Butterflies, gaining an extra elimination onto the Vanguards, you've allowed VP slightly more access towards that high ground, and you've taken more time for Heretics to be able to push back onto an objective themselves. Yes, they've got unmatched Gambit ult, but Dridro can hold the space with Fate of both worlds, and VIRTUSPRO get a fighting chance.
And now, since they baited out the support ult, they just go in with the rocket ult next. But Fi can ult the rocket ult. Oh no, bro. Dude, they messed up. They missed their rocket Cyclops combo? How do you guys miss a Cyclops rocket?
No portal available. Enzo may have to be the one to do it, but they're holding through the fight. Ken's healing is doing so much work right now. Tanuki comes on in with the Galactic Legend. It's the only ultimate in the fight right now, along with Meteor M. There's nothing for VIRTUSPRO to try and hold this except their own bodies. Enzo sends in the Meteor M into the backline in case there was someone flanking, but now it's just throwing bodies at the point. But Saipe has delayed long enough for Raging Royal Flush again to try and take him down, but with Dridro off the board, the strategists are being taken down. Saipe falls. Ken is holding the line at least for the moment, but they've lost that Magneto.
Someone has to touch. Someone has to touch. You have to touch.
But no one can touch the point. VIRTUSPRO, they hold in the basement.
I understand Sparker's ulting the cart, but you could still go touch the...
A very strange alternate reality to last
chat,
year.
Who cares
It's
about
the
your
same
stats?
situation as Museum
Die
of
on the
Contemplation.
point.
Like, almost down to the exact distance. And this is where my worry for VP properly kicks in, Tetcha, because it was not the defense that they looked particularly rough on at first. It was the attack.
Who are people going to remember, chat?
Especially
Who are people going to remember?
Like,
that you won
was
the
rough,
series and you're going to land? Or that you went 3 and 15?
Like the Invisible Woman, the Adam Warlock.
Who cares if you went 3 and 15 as long as you won, right?
They're not here to let VP quickly take these points.
Every second will be Heretics. They want VIRTUSPRO to fight through every second, because that's how Heretics claim that spot in the mid-season finals and their spot in the upper bracket finals. VIRTUSPRO, they have to break them. They have to break this Vanguard. Vi is considering
yo,
the
guys,
Wolverine
Saipe is
possibly
trash.
here,
Yo, chat, relax. How did he lose that? He had 2 guys in his face beating the shit out of him.
VIRTUSPRO, they're just working out what's going to be best here, but Heretics, they're going to old reliable.
Yeah, VP, I think when Fi Scouts...
How are you guys going to call Saipe trash? That doesn't make any sense. You cannot say a guy who hit rank 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and like 8 all at the same time is trash when you're probably in silver.
Heretics don't actually have a duelist to try to keep him in check. That job falls actually to the Adam Warlock, as VP trying to play very front to back, but Finzi caught out by Grit Walls from Beetle, not going to be able to make it to Dridro's line of sight, so BRB already called into play. Heretics feeling very happy with the fact that they're able to push VP out, and that allows Ken to hit 50% to his ult.
Dark has moved over to that Elsa Bloodstone. Fire still sieging from above. Dridro just sending heals down range.
No one said that. Schizo 3. Twitch chat.
And force mistakes out of Heretics.
You guys are not the only ones that exist. Stop having main character energy. YouTube also exists.
Can get those ultimates for the Gambit in particular. It's going to be Heretics building up towards a Karmic Revival, building up towards the God of Mischief for Karmic Revival, or Invisible Boundary, or even a steal onto that Raging Royal Flush. The longer VP take to do this, the worse it's going to be for them.
I mean, Cyber's just not getting the opportunity to match Ken's ult charge as well, as Heretics aren't really poking out onto VP's players to allow healing. You do get the pick onto Adam, which means that Self-Cocoon is called in, but Ken uses the copy onto Invisible Boundary, so VP don't get to take advantage of the situation. What they can take advantage of now is Saipei's ult when Heretics don't have
Wait,
a
did
match
that hit
for it.
anyone, or did that just hit clones?
Tanuki tack on through, but Tanuki's dropped incredibly low. Straggling Prison comes on in, but they lose 2 members. Naga is down, and an absolute
Sparker's just killing everyone.
VIRTUSPRO break the line, but it's not about this one fight. Look how much time was spent into that one fight. They won it with just the Straggling Prison, the Apex Predator, and the Raging Royal Flush. What do Heretics do? They're portaling back to do it all over
explain
again.
it, but you're trying to threaten me, so I'm okay.
Lose the worry of having to try and track down where exactly this
I'll take
Adam
the or
will be
else.
rezzing Finzi, using that Stone of Seduction, but Heretics trying to just kite around using their own Loki greens and the Strange Shield. So VP actually losing Phi. Dridro having to burn out that BRB, using Cosmic Yawn Amplifier to boost up the damage from Phi. Since Heretics have no way of shutting this down, they take cover, huddling up inside that invisible boundary, but that means, Tetcha, no one's present on the point. They have to pile outside of it, survive walking back onto that objective, and keep it stalled, sacrificing Ken, but knowing you bring him back with Karmic.
But it does mean they don't get Beetle, who was picked up early in the fight. They have to make their way back on foot here. But that's a huge revive for Heretics, allowing them to burn even more time.
I'm liking the torch pick, man.
On the flank, building up some more ult charge. Ken is about to have ult for a second revive, but more realistically, a Raging Royal Flush or Invisible Boundary. Tanuki could be the game changer here, though, as they have Eye of Agamotto, but they need to stay alive for it. 5 very nearly with a huge pickup there.
Ken's just waiting. VP having to be very careful, like you have to build up ults before you can push on forward. Finzi with Sonic Seduction, trying to just push Heretics off of holding this objective so that VP can get closer to that objective checkpoint, get a little bit more time. Carbon Crush onto the Strange, into the spinning kick. You've been able to get the pickup onto the Adam. Sparker sees an opportunity, a huge Apex Predator, but Alex keeps the team for the most part up with the Invisible Boundary.
The Eye of Agamotto finds nothing. Straggling Prison into the backline, though, to buy a little bit more time. Beetle is throwing everything at this. No more portals.
Wait, VIRTUSPRO, chat, VIRTUSPRO can lose.
Just sustain a delay right now for
There's
Heretics,
no way. No,
never mind.
Bro, if VIRTUSPRO loses this game, that's going to be insane, though.
Goes the Vanguards, the Strategist already gone. The Duelist rolls
If
on in for a couple
VIRTUSPRO loses,
seconds,
man, this would actually be such an upset.
Overtime hit, so the time has been eaten, but the distance is now rough. Right before point 2 is where VIRTUSPRO put a stop to Heretics.
No. For a moment,
I have not gotten a new phone yet, chat.
Is he going to try to portal map flip? You can see Phi setting up. They scouted the Doctor Strange switch, and they're setting up Pyro Prison in case Heretics decided to commit to it. As we do get the swaps away from the Loki, Adam has done its job. It's totally stalled out VP's time bank. Now you just can't afford to lose players early when you're setting up for the first fight on second, something that you've already, unfortunately, had to face. Tanuki goes down. Heretics, without that Captain America, they went for the Angela instead to put more pressure on Phi. Haven't been able to get a body on this objective, Tetcha. We are barreling towards final fight territory, and Heretics do not have good ult bank to be able to stand up to take it.
Over the halfway point, Finzi coming into the background with the Captain America trying to get onto Naga, who needs healing assistance, please. Finzi's going to be dashing away as the Supernova comes on.
Oh, Shameless with the massive 100 bits, I appreciate it.
Through it, delaying, and this is the spot. This is where it fell apart for VIRTUSPRO last year, and Heretics have to hold here. Finzi going in for the duel, going for the 1v1. That's a lot of damage from Finzi. That's not a 1v1. The Phi comes on in with the Human Torch for a little bit of extra dueling. The Invincible Shield with the barrier.
No!
The Ruby Red Rage takes out Sparker though on the mirror. Finzi falls as well, but the car is still moving. Heretics trying to reinforce as quick as they can. It's going to force a regroup from VP.
VP don't have the players up. They lost Saipei. They can't afford to lose this next fight. They only get one chance at it. They have to go for the full regroup. But that means that you're sacrificing the opportunity of building up your Gambit ult before Ken has his. And Heretics have the confidence to walk. This has to be clutch plays from VIRTUSPRO.
Wait, the Cyclops didn't kill him. Wait, he got the
deficiency, and Spark is already down. That's devastating for VIRTUSPRO to have to deal with.
Beatles trying to zone, trying to just catch someone out of position. If they can stagger these pickups here, then it could be all over in favor of Team Heretics. Wrapping around from above, trying to deal with the torch that Vi has stayed on here. Needs to avoid those spears, but someone
I have to go look at that ult again, because I did not see Cypher
with 17 seconds remaining will make their way in. Fincy falls down, but Battle Reaper Faker brings it back, and he still has that freedom.
You cannot lose the fight with 6 ults. Chat, they have 6 ults. They have 6 ults. Oh my.
Before the fight really gets going, Tanuki's gonna be pulled on in with the silent seduction to prevent a large chunk of that ultimate here, but Fincy is keeping this fight
They
going.
have 6 ults, chat. They have 6 ults. They're fumbling the 6 ults.
Own silent seduction to try and force them off the board. Heaven's retribution to delay, and VIRTUSPRO, their hopes are disappearing, but reinforcements on the left to come on in. 5 reinforces takes out Enzo, and they're running out of time. Heretics, they could have a portal of their own, but that finish line is creeping closer. Beetle is once again on delay duty, as he's been so many times before.
Oh my god.
Enzo's
Oh my god. What's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? What's gonna happen?
In comes Beetle for a delay.
Oh my god.
To give everything they can.
Oh my god.
With the push to give every second.
Oh my god, chat.
Ultimates aren't really available for anyone right now, meaning it comes down to the neutral to delay this. A huge play from Fi, just holding the corner.
VIRTUSPRO has no more ults.
He's being pressured by Enzo. He's
Naga, come on, Naga.
Healing output is huge right now from Heretics, forcing VP off the point, preventing them from delaying. Ultimates are building up, but Saipe has to stay alive.
They're off the point. They're off the point. Oh my god. Oh my god. You can't get off.
Nagamoto! Into the backline from
They
It's a double! And Heretics are deleted from the board. They still have bodies, but with the raging royal flush, those bodies
There's no fucking way. There's no way they win this, chat. There's no way. There's no way they win this, bro. VIRTUSPRO does not deserve to win this. Team Heretics literally just got robbed. Team Heretics just got robbed.
They get it done. What a stall from Fi to be able to hold on long enough for Saipe to build up that ult. We have to give the MVP to Strange.
Team Heretics deserves that win.
Overcome adversary and
Team Heretics deserves that win, bro.
Mid-season playoffs.
They literally had the. They had Team Heretics had less ults. VIRTUSPRO had 6 ults. They were killing VIRTUSPRO. They couldn't use all their 6 ults, bro. They were missing. They were. She screamed release when she couldn't finish her release.
VIRTUSPRO was scuppered and